But I have a lot of thoughts. I haven't been on since the post-game show after the Super Bowl.
Oh, so this is your Super Bowl recap show.
I mean, I was on the post-game show.
Yeah,
so
but
we were able to talk about it. But I didn't have time to digest it like I do now.
Yeah.
Because there are some things that I've thought, some realizations I've come to since that game. So there was obviously a disappointing outcome for the Patriots, but that doesn't need to be restated at this point. I just think, Kendra, well, first of all, how have you been? How's your winter going?
Yeah, I'm good. I hate the snow. I'm actually still so terrified of it. I've only driven in it 3 times, and I white knuckle the steering wheel because I'm not used to it. So I have so many snacks prepared for the storm. I'm not going anywhere. I'm ready to lock down. My dog doesn't even like going outside when it's snowing. So other than that, nothing going on. What's new with you?
Is it really going to be? I've seen so many different totals. It's going to be a big one, huh? Blizzard-ish?
Yeah, I'm hearing, at least for my area, there's a big red center of right over Boston that's supposed to get the most snow, which is where I'm at. So I think it's for us 30 inches, and then the surrounding areas it's 18 or so. But yeah, It looks like it's going to be pretty bad. But the city's probably going to get dumped on.
We got away for a trip to Mexico.
Wow.
My wife, the kids, first we haven't done much international travel, but it was the first time the kids joined us on a big trip like that.
What part of Mexico?
Just Cancun.
Okay.
So it was great. My wife wanted to do it for her birthday, a warm weather thing with the winter. It was great. The only thing I don't understand, my wife, this beautiful Irish woman, she's got fair, beautiful skin, and she wanted to do get tan before the trip, which I just don't get. Like a spray tan. Is that protective? Is that supposed to protect your skin?
No, it's just to make you feel pretty. You want to go outside looking like your winter pasty self in a bikini? No, I'm going on vacation in a couple weeks, and I'm not even going to be in a bathing suit, and I'm going to get a spray tan.
Okay. That's the only thing I just didn't understand, because I'm not saying it doesn't look good. I mean, she doesn't need to do that, and I don't know why.
Yeah, but it's not for you. It's for her.
You're right. So other than that, it was great. I had never been to a place like that. The resort, the heat. I got to play some golf. So no complaints.
What'd you shoot?
Well, I played 9 with my son and shot a 47 on 9. So I wasn't great. And then the next day, I didn't get to play the 18 because they didn't have all the holes. The full 18 wasn't available, so I did 12. But I was playing pretty well.
Do you bring your clubs, or do you
I brought the clubs?
Wow, okay.
And that was a good idea because they had a grass driving range. So after the round, I was able to spend another hour out there. I went at 7 a.m. The sun wasn't even up. So I got a lot of good work in on the range that I obviously wouldn't be able to get to here because of...
Oh, no. Oh, God. Connor Hellebuck is the man, dude. He is the reason that this team is alive right now.
Unbelievable.
He is so good.
It's amazing in this game the amount of players that play college hockey in this area.
Oh, the Hockey East is the SEC of college hockey.
It is. And it's incredible. Makar, Celebrini.
Everybody.
Brady Tkachuk, Eichel, Hellebuck went to UMass Lowell. I mean, it's just...
UMass Lowell has produced some goalies over the years.
They've got a good hockey team. They've always had a good hockey program. It's crazy. And this game, I don't know if it's the ice, the rink being smaller or whatever, but they are just...
Olympic hockey sheets are bigger.
Yeah. This one's a little small. So they're just... It's crazy to watch this talent and the level of talent. I wanted to get to a thought before we really get into this game when this is over on just what we saw. There was something I missed going into the Super Bowl that really, I knew it was a factor. I didn't want to admit, I guess, that it was as big of a deal as it became. We should have known, Kendra, that the Patriots were not ready for that moment. And I don't mean that to sound negative, like they choked in the moment, something like that. But when you listen back to what was going on with Mike Vrabel and how he spoke to Drake May throughout the playoffs leading in to the Super Bowl. Again, I'm not being negative about their rapport or how they interacted, but it just didn't feel. I mean, he was trying to be as good of it was almost like a father figure as he could be. And he was really invested in pumping him up and keeping his head up and, not letting him get too down on himself and being encouraging and all the things you want a coach to be.
I think a lot of people did know that they were kind of outkicking their coverage in this game. If you look at the gambling lines, which you have to take everything that Vegas says and does with a grain of salt. Like, the lines come out and then after that they kind of wipe their hands of it. But the way that the gambling was, the way that Vegas had everything set, like, you had to know that they were outkicking their coverage in this game from the start. I think it was just a local issue.
I'm still shocked at how they looked in that game. 2 weeks later, I cannot believe they looked so unprepared offensively for that game. I can't believe it. It was a stain on the season, which was a great season. Doesn't mean it, they're in trouble going forward or anything like that. I just think it was such a negative part, such a negative way to end the season. Not just to lose. I could have dealt with that. But just the way they lost, the way they looked in losing, the way the offense was completely incapable, looking really non-competitive for most of that game. That's what bothers me. And
I'd rather look that way in the Super Bowl, though, than not get there at all.
Yes, agreed. But that doesn't mean that I still can't be disappointed with the way. I mean, they were there.
I think that it comes down to you needing to be disappointed in them not adding more at the beginning of the season. I said this on my show yesterday. My kind of fear for them at this point is we know that they can be rather cheap, but that's not a secret. And them being able to get as far as they did on having Drake May having a coming out year and having a good coach, I'm nervous that they can rely on that and not spend any money now because it gave them the excuse that they wanted and needed to not do so.
I'm curious, and I apologize if I haven't heard your commentary. As somebody that, has been a Jags fan, obviously they've been up and down or whatever you want to call it. They had a great year.
They've been always down.
They've been down for the most
Yes.
part, but they've had some flashes. I mean, they've been in the championship game. Yeah, they were in the championship game. They should have won that game, arguably. How do you view what the Patriots did this year?
I think that it kind of... I don't think it really says anything about the Patriots outside of Mike Vrabel's abilities. It's more so just, I've said since the beginning of this season that you don't win any kind of championship in any sport without a significant amount of luck going your way. The schedule went their way. Not having, Burrow, Mahomes, you didn't have to really get through a Josh Allen that we've seen in prior seasons. I mean, like, he had a good season, he had a good postseason, whatever, but you didn't have to go through that gauntlet. Like, you only had to play him twice, and you didn't have to play any of these other guys that you usually would have to go through in the AFC. Like, they got lucky, and that's okay, but it's more so just they need to add a receiver. They need to fix the offensive line. They can't sit here and say that, Will Campbell is their future on the left side of that line when he really truly is a guard. Like, listening to Mike Vrabel say that he is their future at that position, it could all just be fluff. It could all just be coach speak. It could be those things, but the rubber might meet the road when the draft rolls around, because there's no way that you can continue to just roll that guy out there, because one, it's going to hurt Drake in the long run because he's always going to be looking over that shoulder, wondering who's coming for him and if he's going to get injured. And two, you have to consider what the Bengals have put Joe Burrow through. Like, that's basically the script of how this could go, is like, unless you really are serious about winning a championship, you have to invest in that side of the line if you want him to be decent, because that's what Joe Burrow is going through right now. His whole thing is that he's not having fun playing football, and I don't blame him. If I was worried about, Myles Garrett coming and cleaning my head off all the time, I probably would not be having fun playing football either and would be considering retirement. Like, it's too much.
I'm not ready to move off of Will Campbell. I don't know what the knee was, if that was a factor.
I don't think that was anything serious. I feel like every time someone has a poor showing in any kind of sporting event, in any kind of championship, whatever, it's always, I was dealing with this injury. Speaking of hockey, look at what all of these guys come out after the Stanley Cup and say they're dealing with.
Yeah. 2013.
And they play 7 games sometimes.
I mean, I think 2013, I remember Patrice Bergeron having a punctured lung, and that after the
torn ACL, punctured lung.
Right. No, I hear you. I do think you're right in saying that what happened early on in the playoffs sort of, I don't want to say ruined Drake May, but it definitely got inside his head. All the hits he took against Houston, all the sacks, all the fumbles, all those things, I think sort of it knocked him off his spot. I think it affected his confidence. But that look in the eye in the Super Bowl, I couldn't ride with.
They're also kind of in a weird spot between like kind of looking in the mirror at like the Bengals and their offensive line situation with Joe Burrow, and then looking at Josh Allen and him never really having that true receiver since Diggs left. And so which one would you rather be? Obviously neither. So you have to fix both.
Yeah. They did definitely feel the lack of a true weapon, number one. It's hard because they lost so emphatically. It's hard to say, wow, it was the one thing missing that would have put them over the top. There really wasn't one thing. I thought their defense that night played well enough to win the game.
The defense they were the balls all season long. Yeah. That defense is the reason that they got anywhere. When I'm talking about the Patriots needing to change things, oh my God, Connor Hellebuck. I'm not talking about this defense. The defense was lights out.
No, they played well enough to win the Super Bowl. They made Sam Darnold look exactly like I was hoping they would make Sam Darnold look. Because he
wanted to throw a pick so bad.
Yes.
He wanted to give it to you, man. Oh my gosh.
I wanted it to. I wanted it. Damn it! I wanted him to throw a pick.
I can hear Garvin yelling in there. I can hear you in here. I can see Jeff on that TV.
But I also had respect for how well he had been playing. So, I wasn't expecting the Sam Ghost Darnold guy to come around. So,
no, and people I love everyone at this station so dearly, but there were a lot of people at this station hating on Sam Darnold. And don't get me wrong, has he shown flashes of that guy who will give you 5 picks in a singular game this season? Yes, but you truly have not been watching football. And I don't blame you if what you watch is the Patriots and the people they play. I don't blame you. But I don't want to hear anyone talk about this version of Sam Darnold as if he's the Jets version of Sam Darnold, because you're just simply not watching football if that's how you feel.
Yeah. That's why I had the amount of respect I think I needed to have for him going into that game. With that being said, I thought the Patriots defense did exactly what I needed them to do against him in that spot. He did not look super comfortable. He didn't make that mistake we were all hoping for, but he just didn't look like it was a situation where he was going to rip them apart and tear them, and he didn't. And it was there for them, but the Patriots could not. What helped Sam Darnold in that game, Kendra, was I think it became apparent very early that the Patriots were never going to move the ball. And I think Darnold was able to take some comfort in knowing that.
Oh, yeah.
And say, hey, if I make a mistake, guess what? That other guy isn't doing bleep, it's okay.
Yeah, they had to know that if they could keep the Patriots under 20 points, they were going to win that game. Whoa, that was... I'm sorry that we're switching back and forth between hockey reaction.
Forget about 20 points, though. I know. It's a tough task, but this is the gold medal game, and everything's on the line.
And it's Canada. It's not like Canada. We're sitting here like playing Sweden. If it were Sweden, I'd be like, all right, whatever. But it's Canada.
They really... they never put any pressure on. They were never able to put any pressure on.
Oh my God!
Cover the puck. I got it out. Okay. They just couldn't put any pressure on.
Watching Marchand right now is making me so sad too, because I do not want him to be the guy to kill the U.S. right now. That would really crush my soul.
It would be more crushing on the other end of it. If Austin Matthews gets the goal to down Canada all the time, he's been unable to do it for Toronto.
I know. It'll never happen.
I've tried to speak it into existence.
He gives me the same energy, speaking of like the crossover between football and hockey. Oh no. I thought that went in. He gives me the Justin Herbert vibes. Like he could be the best, but just has no clutch gene whatsoever. Negative clutch gene.
Correct.
They're just bombarding Hellebuck right now. You knew that this was coming, and they are.
We had a chance. We had one chance there, but it's definitely
the ice is tilted.
Yeah, it is.
They're fighting though. Good for these boys, man. They want it. That was way too close for comfort. I'm sorry this is terrible radio, but you've got to turn this. If you're listening to us and not watching this game.
We got to go to break. Yeah, I'll never forget. I mean, that would remind me of, I remember I was trying to sell a canoe once. I had this canoe in my yard and I was selling it. And a couple came out to purchase the canoe right in the middle of Tiger Woods in 2019, about to win the Masters. I was like,
why are you here?
What are you doing here? Get out of here. Go put the TV on. I'll never forget that.
I know that.
All right.
I know we got to hit a break, and I know you're not a guy for fluff, but I have to talk about.
I can be fluffy.
I have to talk about my Diet Coke gate from last night.
Perfect.
Because it's gotten like 20,000 likes on the internet, and I'm getting just bombarded for reasons I never thought that I should.
I missed it. I can't wait to hear about it. It's Mark, Kendra, 98.5 The Sports Up.
Boston's home for sports. 98.5 The Sports.
Back here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Mark Dondero, Kendra Middleton.
I gotta stand. I can't sit down.
So you were going to tell me something about
Yeah,
Pepsi?
okay. All right, so let's get your opinion on this.
Yeah.
Last night, I went out. I don't even care about protecting their identity anymore. I originally did. But I went to Lucky Strike in Somerville for my buddy's birthday, which is like a bowling alley, but also an arcade, huge bar, restaurant. Walk up to the restaurant bar, order 2 Diet Cokes. They sat down, like, you know, the usual restaurant Diet Coke with the I'm out of breath from, like, yelling at the TV. I have a video of us all standing in the lobby, just like yelling at the TV just now. Standing there, get our 2 drinks, just like normal cups with ice, Diet Pepsis. Put down the bill. Yep. $14 for 2 Diet Pepsis.
Jeez.
I put it on the bar, paid for it, $17 with tip, posted the picture online. I was like, Gen Z stops drinking. Large corporations, $14 for 2 sodas. And now it has like 22,000 likes. And there is now a full-blown discourse about what restaurants should be charging for soda, how you should only be drinking water, whatever, and how I should know the prices of something before I order it. When you've ever walked up to a bar and ordered a soda, 1, has there been a menu there for you to be able to look at the prices? 2, do you assume a soda is going to be $7? And 3, do you expect corporations and like things like bowling alleys to be able to charge those prices? Like, is that something you expect?
No, I think that's a disgrace, and that annoys me. The fact that you had to pay that much for pop,
$17 for 2 sodas.
That's not even an alcoholic beverage.
That's what
alcohol, I mean, being that much is something that, you know, you could get me going on. But
so am I in the, like, I just don't feel like I'm in the wrong here.
No, not even close. I mean, that's...
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Of course.
You got them, and that's going to be...
Yep, there it is.
That's the same thing, right? That's a 2-minute double minor.
What did they call it? I wasn't paying attention. I was talking about my soda.
No, I didn't see it.
That was acting, though. I'll say that.
Yeah, but
that was some really good acting.
This was the chance right there.
That was it. But yeah, I've never been to a bar. Like, even at a sit-down restaurant, do they have the prices of soda on the menu? Like, everyone's saying that I should have checked, like, ordering something without knowing the price is crazy. But I just never in my life would have expected a...
No, it's soda.
Even if you go to the movies and you pay that, like, you get the giant cup that you can refill.
Yeah, I've never been a soda drinker. Coke, I don't drink it. I just never have. So
it's my one treat when I go out because like I have stopped drinking. Like I did.
You have?
Well, yeah. I actually have. I've had 1 glass of alcohol since October. And I did buy a bottle of wine this week. I posted this on Instagram yesterday because I'm going on vacation with one of my girlfriends in 2 weeks, and we have 2 wineries booked, and all of our dinners come with wine pairings. Oh. And I've had 1 drink since October. So I was like, I'm going to buy a bottle of wine in hopes of like helping my tolerance a little bit before I go because I don't want to be miserable. So I had a glass of wine at home last night before I went out. But no, I don't drink. When I go out, I get a Diet Coke, and that's with a lemon.
Yep.
And that is my sweet treat. That's like my alcoholic beverage. That's my little, whatever. And at this point, I should just be boozing if I'm going to spend $17 on 2 Diet Pepsis. And 1 was for me, and 1 was my friend who also doesn't really drink, just, very Gen Z of us or whatever. But insane. I never would have ever thought that. And maybe I am in the wrong for not assuming that a soda would be $7, but the discourse online right now and the names that people are calling me
why are they upset?
Sodas,
what are the people online upset about?
They're bootlicking for corporations.
Okay.
Saying that I shouldn't go to a restaurant and not know what I'm ordering or the price of it before ordering it. And if I'm going to go out, I should be able to be prepared to pay whatever, which like I am. But that the reason that corporations are getting away with this is because of people like you.
Yeah. I mean, some of those prices, some things I've spent on ice cream. Now, granted, this was a vacation spot, so it's a little different, but you go out, you get 4 ice creams, and I'm paying $73.
That's crazy.
Like,
how do people have kids right now? Like, what's your grocery bill like?
Oh, you don't want to know.
I do want to know.
So if it stays under $275 a week, it's a good week. I mean, it's so much money. And, my wife sometimes will buy other stuff, supplemental protein.
Yeah.
This type of milk that she wants to get, almond milk from Whole Foods. and it's still like it balloons so fast. It's crazy, and I cannot. I mean, I try to. They need to eat what they want to eat. I don't want to like limit my wife and what she wants to eat or whatever. But I'm just like, you gotta. This is just a huge expense every week based on the food and. I don't know.
Why don't they have, you remember in like the early 2000s, they used to have like the coupon things that would sit next to stuff and like dispense the coupons?
Yeah.
We need to bring those back. We are full blown like housing crisis 2008. Like we need the coupon machines.
Oh yeah, well the
back
housing, like the amount of money people have to spend on houses is insane. And I feel bad for people that are.
I'll never own a home.
I mean, I don't know how you do it unless you have some capital that you have access to that can get you in the door. I do.
Mommy and daddy up here pay people's deposits. I am from somewhere where that is not a thing, but like and I love you guys. I don't mean this in a bad way. A lot of you are like, blue collar workers. I stand with you. But a lot of the like old money Cape Cod people up here, young people who own a home, it's because their parents put a down payment on their home for them. I am not saying that to be mean. I'm not saying that to be shady. The people that I know who own a home at my age, their parents helped them.
Oh, yeah. I know people that have moved into their childhood home.
Yes.
They bought it from their parents or did something like that.
I know a few people like that as well. But like, it's just insane. I don't know how people are doing it. Anyways, I didn't mean to distract from our sports conversations. I just needed to make sure that I wasn't crazy that $7 for a Diet Pepsi is nuts.
No, that's I don't think it's crazy also that you went out and were surprised by what you had to pay. You don't need to. It's just so much money for a Coke.
Yeah.
I could. And I don't get those people that were so bent out of shape about that.
The amount of people yelling at me online about this is, I think, the part that I'm more just what the heck about. God, I know that I keep saying it, but Connor Hellebuck, man, is just so nuts. Let me ask you this. This is something I want to talk about. What do you think that, if anything, this kind of means or shows for Jeremy Swayman? Because they gave him a shot. We knew that in these bigger games, once the tournament style kind of dwindled down a little bit, that it was always going to be Connor Hellebuck because he's the guy. But do you think that there was ever any opportunity that if Jeremy Swayman in those early rounds had some shutouts, didn't have that fluky goal in what was the game 2 games ago, where people are saying it got stuck between like the pads of the rink and the stands, and he couldn't see it? Who were they playing? I don't remember. There's been so many games at this point.
Germany, I forget.
But do you think that had he really stood on his head throughout the beginning of this tournament, that they would have ever given him an opportunity to play in this? I personally don't. I think it's always the Connor Hellebuck guy. But if you go out there and you make a stand, it's hard to pull the hot hand.
Yeah. I don't think they would have. I think he was there out of respect for some of the things he's done with the Bruins. I think he was there to give the guys a look in practice. I think he was there as an emergency backup. Maybe you give him, they played him early in the tournament. That's fine, especially now in this day and age of the rotating goalie, which I'm still getting used to in the NHL. What do they call it? The platoon, that whole thing. So I don't think I certainly don't want to see him in this game anywhere near a big moment for this team. I don't know what that says about my confidence in him with the Bruins. But with what the Bruins are right now, I'm not concerned about, I don't feel like the Bruins are on the doorstep of a championship.
No.
So he's solid.
What about because Jake Ottinger he's had a really down year for his usual type of season. If he was having his usual type of season, and this is the way that Jeremy Swayman has been playing, I think that decision also becomes tougher between the two of them of who starts the beginning of this, tournament and goal for USA, because Jake Ottinger is having a very down year for his standard. And I do think if they're both playing their best hockey, that Sway is better. Mm-hmm. But if Ottinger had stayed on that kind of trajectory that he was on over the last 2 seasons for this year, I think that question becomes a lot more difficult.
Maybe. But I think Jeremy Swayman honestly was kind of lucky to be on this team. And he's on the team, and that's fine. But I don't think I don't see him as a marquee goalie. So,
what do you think, Jeff? Do you think that this means anything for Jeremy Swayman? Do you think if Jake Ottinger had been playing, his usual season up until this point, that decision was a little bit more difficult for them to make?
I would say so.
I think so too. I don't know. It's a weird spot to be. And here's the thing. As like a Bruins fan, like it's cool to watch, and any NHL fan, and I've been talking about this all week, it's like it's really cool to watch these guys playing. Like the talent level is so much higher. But having NHLers back in the Olympics changes so much for the trajectory of the rest of the NHL season. Like, this is a lot of games. This is a lot of wear and tear on the body. And now all of the best have all these extra games on there. Look at McAvoy. Imagine if the Bruins were in a spot right now to potentially make a deep playoff run, and McAvoy's out there with the extra stress on his jaw after that really nasty hit he had a couple of weeks ago before this tournament. Like, if my team is sitting pretty for the NHL, postseason right now, as much as I love watching my team, I'm probably sitting here like, damn it.
617-779-0985. They're going to overtime for the gold medal.
I hate that. I hate it.
And I love it too. I love it, but I hate it because I'm going to be a mess. I'm going to respond to what you just said, Kendra, when we get back, because I have a thought on that. The Bruins aren't in that position, but I do want to just touch on what you just said. 617-779-0985. Mark Kendra, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Boston's home for sports, 98.5.
Back here, 98.5 The Sports Hub, Mark Dondero, Kendra Middleton. The feeling that I have right now, Kendra, is rare. This is the one. This is the, we've seen a lot of big games in this area. The Super Bowl final drive, have to have it, or final inning, Red Sox, Worlds, it's that feeling.
They don't go to 3-on-3.
I hate that they are doing that here. This is the gold medal game of the Olympics with the best in the world on the ice. I think for the whole medal round, they should have been playing 5-on-5 overtime. I do like the 3-on-3 initially.
Yeah, I said to you during the break, the preliminaries is fine for me for the 3-on-3, but any medal match should be 5-on-5. I don't care if after 20 you go to a shootout, like that's fine. I don't think that you should. I think that it should be your best 5 versus my best 5 for the entirety until somebody wins it. But whatever, I'll take that. But 3-on-3 is so ridiculous.
I mean, I can't, that they're just showing on TV the chance the U.S. had on the power play there. I can't even really get upset about that because Canada had like 8 of those and didn't convert any of them in the third period.
Because Connor Hellebuck is the balls.
Yeah, so I can't really get, 41-26 shot advantage. Canada has, especially after the first period, really turned it up. My stomach is in knots right now. I'm woozy.
Quinn Hughes,
anxious.
Please.
I don't know what to do. I've never been in this situation. I don't even think, to be honest with you, because it wasn't a do or die situation. I remember being on the air during the NBA Finals when the Celtics played the Warriors. I don't remember feeling like this. This is unprecedented for me. So, hey. But I was just going to react to what you were saying about if the Bruins or if your team was in it. Here's what I would respond to that with, okay? I don't know. Now, I'm not going to speak for every hockey fan. I'm a hockey fan, not as much as some other people. I'm not hardcore. But the way I feel, and I'd wonder if other hockey fans feel this way, and anybody can chime in, I hear what you're saying about if my Bruins were on the verge of having this historic season, and I had my one of the players be put at risk because he was competing so hard in the Olympics.
Could you? Yeah, I mean, look at Kevin Fiala the other day.
Okay, I'm just saying, as a hockey fan, I care so much about the gold medal. I am okay with whatever happens because especially if it's a guy playing. If it's not playing for my team, then that's different. If somebody's playing for Canada, I'd be pissed if McAvoy was playing for Canada and the Bruins are having this great season. But if he's playing for the United States, I care just as much about the gold medal as I do the Stanley Cup. I want the gold medal. I want to experience that as a fan. So for USA hockey, I am not concerned. No matter what the Bruins are doing, this means just as much, legitimately.
Yeah, I was going to say, too, like the Stanley Cup, if you take every single championship or trophy in all of sports, the Stanley Cup is the S tier. Like nothing really. The Stanley Cup, if you were making tiers, stands alone. But a gold medal has to be that A tier. It has to be right there. And so if I'm a fan of a country and an NHL team that's not playing in this, I'm probably really upset. But as an American and a Canadian where most of these guys are playing, like that gold medal is right there. Like right there. If you were a player and you had the opportunity to win the Stanley Cup, that's obviously the number one thing. Like that's the goal. But I almost kind of want to be, and I will never have this opportunity. It doesn't matter how I feel, but I think that I would prefer the gold medal. Like saying that I'm an Olympic gold medalist is...
Well, that's a question. It's a separate conversation. But especially, I think the perspective changes as an American. With the history of 1980, they haven't won it in 30, whatever
46.
years. Right. 46 years. Right. So that is different. Hockey, I don't need to tell you this. I know that. But I'm just restating it. Of all the team sports, I'll speak for, I guess, men's sports, not so much women's sports. Of all the team sports from an Olympic perspective, that is the most coveted gold medal. I mean, more than basketball, right?
I would say for women, it's probably gymnastics.
But that's not a team sport.
Yes, it is.
Oh, yeah, I guess it is. I don't know enough about gymnastics.
Gymnastics is definitely a team sport.
Okay, fine. So gymnastics, the team is fine. I'm just saying the 4 major sports, basketball, baseball, football, obviously doesn't count because they don't, not an international sport. And hockey, I mean, it's more important than a basketball gold medal, even though I do have respect for the basketball gold medal or the World Baseball Classic gold medal, and I have respect for that one too. Hockey is a big deal. It's a big deal, bigger than those other ones.
Yeah, I would say for women's sports, it's probably, as far as team stuff goes, it's probably gymnastics, and then I would say hockey, at least for me as a fan and a consumer. But
soccer's big.
Yeah, soccer's really big. That's a big one. But I would still say gymnastics probably above soccer. But the way I think that honestly, it's kind of tilted after this season. Like, obviously, women's soccer has always been huge, especially because the women's teams have always been better than the men's by a mile, and it's not even close. But the way that the women's team just dominated this Olympics has really opened a lot of people's eyes, I think, to the PWHL women's hockey, especially having so many women from the fleet up here on the team. I think that we're definitely going to see a huge shift because you can go and you can watch women's soccer, but I feel like it's not as readily available in the US, let alone up here. The PWHL has made so many strides in the last couple of years, so I'm going to be going up to their games. I'm going to be supporting them. This Olympics in particular, I think definitely changed some people's minds and some rankings of importance of, gold medal team sports moving forward.
Sure. And I think the thing that helps, I think the thing that helps, honestly, both the women and the men is the rivalry thing.
Yeah.
With Canada. That's a huge... I mean, the women, no other women's team has won a gold medal in hockey other than...
USA and Canada.
Yeah. So it's like, I love that in a way. I mean, you'd like to see a little bit more parity, I guess. But I love the fact that they're two dominant countries and the fact that the men have ascended to the number 2 team in the world. 20 years ago, that wasn't the case. The U.S. made the gold medal game in 2002, but that wasn't... I mean, that was kind of out of nowhere. Herb Brooks was the coach. That was, Sweden was dominant still. And I mean, let me ask you this. Is there an asterisk next to whoever wins this because Russia wasn't involved? I mean, that's another top tier hockey.
People love to talk about that, but I get that you're missing a lot of talent.
It's a big hockey country.
It is a massive hockey country with a lot of huge names on their team, but I don't think so.
Okay.
Until you said that just now, and outside of the one-off commentary, I haven't sat here at all during this tournament and been like, what would make this better if Russia was playing? Because
they would have been in the Four Nations, right? Were they would have been? I don't even know. Because of the war, they weren't allowed to participate.
I don't really...
I'm just saying, they haven't won the gold medal, I don't think, since their days as the Soviets.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think they've won.
But that's the thing for me is that have you sat here at any point and been like, I miss Russia?
No.
No, I don't.
But I'm just saying, if you're talking about the overall depth, they have a decorated international history to not be involved. I'm just saying, I don't know. They had that. I think that was the game that Oshie kept scoring. That was Russia, wasn't it?
Especially after, yes.
Here he is, the hero.
But after this goes how this game is going and it goes into overtime, I don't think that there's any way people are sitting here like, oh, no, this has like an asterisk next to it because it's not Russia. Like, I don't think anybody's going to sit here and have craved them to have been in this game. Especially because, like, I bet John Cooper at one of these intermissions was like, you guys are playing like you want to become the 51st state. Like that, like it just adds to it.
The rivalry certainly does, and it's a great rivalry.
Especially after the Four Nations. I mean, this just has made this even more heated after that because that tournament ruled.
It was fun. It is not this. This is still the preeminent competition for international hockey in my mind. We'll see what happens with the Four Nations. That was a manufactured event. It was fun. This is the top. 617-779-0985. Is it 3-on-3?
Yeah.
Shoot. We got to go to break. All right, we'll be back. Mark, Kendra, 98.5, The Sports Hub.
Boston's home for sports. 98.5, The Sports Hub.
Tune into the next
I'm gonna cry.
medal champions at the Winter Olympics, something that a lot of us have waited our entire lives to see. A lot of the people that were born after 1980 have been dreaming of this moment, and it is here. It has happened. The United States takes down Canada in the gold medal game in overtime. The best revenge possible from 2010. Team USA and Jack Hughes with the golden goal for the United States of America.
Hues of
What a
red,
scene.
white, and blue, baby.
What a scene at 985 The Sports Hub. What a scene in Italy as Marshy and all the rest of the Canadians.
We'll have that
go
clip
home.
out. We'll have that clip out on socials of our reaction in a minute. You will not believe the scene that just unfolded here. I'm so out of breath. You heard Jeff Williams reading the Hour League because we were running around screaming. Dondero's carrying his kid around the studio. Me and Barth are caressing. What just happened?
That was...
There's going to be so many Scorpios born after this. It's going to be insane.
Jack Hughes from Orlando, Florida. Incredible. With the golden goal. A goal that will go down in history. Just shout out to Connor Hellebuck. The game that I cannot get over. The amount of chances that it was destiny. The amount of chances that Canada had to score, to go ahead, to put the game away, to run away with it, and they couldn't do it. The best players in the world, they choked in this game. They outshot Team USA 2-1, and they are devastated, and they should be, and it was a choke. You had the best player in the world, Connor McDavid, go in on a break. How many breakaways did they choke away in this game? McDavid went in and had no idea what to do, Kendra. He went in and didn't shoot, didn't deke. He just kind of watched the play unfold with the puck on his stick. He didn't know what to do. It was unbelievable, and Hellebuck had an answer for just about, other than Cale Makar had that great shot that hit the post and went in. Other than that, he was perfect. He played an unbelievable game. The save, talk about a save that will go down in history when he got the stick with the puck behind him and he got the stick. That was anybody could have
probably
scored that.
one of the most insane goalie performances I've ever seen in a hockey game in my entire life. I know that I've been sitting here just like, I can't say what I want to say or Jeff will have to dump me.
Yeah.
But my brain's not working right now. But Connor Hellebuck just won that game for the United States.
American
and it's
hero.
Not even a question. Not even a question. Like, all of America should be doing tricks on it right now for Connor Hellebuck, and I'm so serious.
Internationally, that's going to go down. That has to go down in history as one of the top performers against that team, against the line that had McDavid, Celebrini, and McKinnon all on the ice at the same time.
If Crosby plays, I think it's a little bit different, but I have to say, I hope Jordan Binnington cries himself to sleep for at least a month. That's what you get for letting your girlfriend pee in the Stanley Cup. I hate you so much.
Yeah.
I hate you. Jordan Binnington, I hate you.
Did that happen? I didn't know that happened. That's
Yes.
disgraceful. Okay. I think of Johnny Gaudreau in this moment. Rest in peace. He would have been
Then
on
with
this
his
team.
jersey out there on the ice.
Just an incredible... I understand that in order to win a game like this, you need your goal. That was Jim Craig-esque. I thought that was Jim Craig-esque.
I think I'm going to throw up right now. My heart is like going...
It's right there.
I understand.
Oh my God, same.
Look, this is not a situation where they were these massive underdogs like they were in 1980. They were right there with Canada. But the way the game unfolded, I do think that the performance by Hellebuck was Jim Craig-esque, if you're talking about the game in against the Soviets back in 1980. The way that they needed him to be at his best in order to get, because the way that they were able to put pressure on Team USA and the amount of times they were able to control the puck and pass it around, even though they weren't even on the power play, but control the puck, pass it around, get their D-men involved, get quality looks, quality shots. Hellebuck had to stand on his head, and he did.
Sidney Crosby's perfectly coiffed hair. I can't. Get out of here. Get out of here.
What does he do? He suited up but didn't play. That's annoying.
Oh, I'm gonna throw up. You guys, this is awesome. I'm trying so hard not to swear.
The Hughes family.
People are, dude. The Hughes family. Please, just American heroes. Without the Hughes brothers and Connor Hellebuck, this does not happen. They better never pay for a drink at any bar in this country ever again they should never pay for anything again. I don't care if I'm Felger fanboying about this. This rules.
I mean, this has been atop my list of things I've been wanting to see as a fan. It's more, as much as I'd appreciate a World Cup victory, this was way more. I was way more interested in this than anything else, and we've been lucky. We've seen a lot of things here that have been really great, but this, I mean, the rivalry with Canada and the ability to get over them in the gold medal game and in overtime of the gold medal game.
3-on-3. When it was 3-on-3, did he lose a tooth? I think he did.
I hope so.
When it went to 3-on-3, I was like, they are so screwed. They don't have the
skill,
the shots to keep up with the barrage that they're about to go. He did lose a tooth. American hero. You know whose dentist could help him out? Derek White.
Yep.
Hit him up. He knows a guy. Oh, you guys, this is awesome.
46 years. And I mean, what a group, what a team, what it says for American hockey. Shout out to, again, the region and all the players that they put out there. I mean, the guys that have come from Hockey East that are on this team or in this game. Just an incredible finish right there. You have to finish that, and he did.
Your kid saw USA win Olympic gold and has not put down the hockey stick in the studio since. He's ready. Yep. He's prepping. For what year would he be eligible? 8 years from now, so that would be 2034. The baby Dondero.
Let's try to make the Squirt A team first, but we'll get there. But I cannot get over the level of play, and to win that game with the way that they were playing. I know Sidney Crosby didn't play. I don't even care. That was a ceremonial C that he was wearing. The best player was Connor McDavid. He's the guy that this runs through. And he was on the ice. It's an unbelievable achievement for this USA team. And the way they got it done. And you got to give them credit. I mean, Canada really carried the play in the second and third period. And they just still were not phased. They gave up the lead. They were unfazed. They're going to a 3-on-3 overtime situation. Canada had found ways in their previous 2 games to come from behind to win.
They're the definition of calm, cool, and collected. Like they've been there. They've done that. It's just they knew that they had the firepower. They had nothing to worry about. They were the better team, and they got today.
Man. The Tkachuks are perfect hockey players.
I hate them.
They're just they're skilled, they're physical, they're aggressive, they get in your face.
In a world full of Tkachuks, be the Hughes.
Yeah. I can't believe both brothers have overtime winners in the what a moment, what a thing.
You know what? I have something to say.
Yeah. All right,
Shout out to the state of Florida for giving us these two and for controlling hockey for the last 10 years between the Bolts and the Panthers. Shout out to the state of Florida. They said it couldn't be done because there's no snow in my state, but here we are, baby.
Well said. Florida showing up.
Shout out to the state of Florida.
Winter Olympics. Okay. Let's get a quick headlines. We'll get a break. Are we taking is it a break? No break. Just headlines. We'll be right back. We'll react to this and more. Mark Kendra, 98.5, The Sports Hub.
From the Town Fair Tires Studios. Dutcher and Hardy, Owen Beetle, Felger and Maz, the Bruins, the Celtics, the Pats, the Revolution. This is Boston's home for sports. WBC FM at HD Boston. 98.5, The Sports Hub. A Beasley Media Group station. Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
I was trying to put these headlines together and didn't even know what to say, so I'm going to stick with hues of red, white, and blue. Team USA wins their first Olympic gold medal in ice hockey since 1980. Connor Hellebuck, no doubt, your MVP of this game. Your New England Revolution falls 4-1 in their opener last night, and the Celtics taking on the Lakers tonight out west at 6:30. USA wins gold. I don't have anything else to say. Sports Up Headlines were brought to you by Valvoline. Enjoy quick and convenient vehicle maintenance this month. Visit NewEnglandOilChange.com for 15% off your drive-through oil change at Valvoline Instant Oil Change. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub, Boston's home for sports. I'm Kendra Middleton. Your next update is in an hour, and I will still be talking about this then.
Are you actually coaching the game, or it's just that is? I feel so strongly about that. I can't even tell you.
Boston Talk Sports here.
What do we got?
The Sports Hub. When it comes to Boston sports, we're fans just like you. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Marks up behind the net. And it's Werenski. Now Jack Hughes pokes it around McCarr. United States with numbers. Walk across it comes. Jack Hughes wins it! The golden goal for the United States! For the first time since the 1980 miracle, the United States takes the gold! Jack Hughes beating Jordan Bennington!
Moves. I wasn't alive for I think what would be my favorite Olympic moment. Just from a historical aspect, I would say, is this your favorite Olympic moment that you've experienced in your lifetime?
In my lifetime, without question. I've had some other ones I've enjoyed. Olympic moment, I can't think of anything that tops the celebration I just went through with you right there. Yeah.
No, I don't. I think that this is my favorite moment that I've been alive. The only thing that I can think that we didn't know it would really historically compare at the time, and it still doesn't historically compare, but Jesse Owens running in front of Hitler has to still be up there.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
I didn't experience that, but
that.
as far as
yeah, sure.
my moments, this has got to be S tier.
That's different. Look, I'm sure 1980 was a bigger deal because again, they weren't they were not huge underdogs. Canada probably, more skilled, deeper, better, but they weren't huge underdogs like 80. That's unprecedented. We're never going to see that again. But in my time, I enjoyed watching Michael Johnson back in the day. I don't know if you remember him, the sprinter. I was young. I enjoyed, I don't really remember the Dream Team per se. USA basketball has been so dominant. Even when I've enjoyed watching them play, they're so dominant. There's not a lot of drama associated with it. Nancy Kerrigan was drama, but that wasn't really Olympic. It was an Olympic moment, really. I can't think of another one where I was so invested in the outcome where I reacted the way I reacted. This is number one.
I gotta think that we have to look now at Thursday because it's only a couple of days away. These guys probably aren't going to get on a plane until tomorrow, get back to the facilities, if they even can up here, until probably Tuesday. So, I get you can probably give them a little bit of an up coming off of an emotional high for maybe a game, but these guys who have played through this entire tournament on Canada and USA, I expect they're probably going to be tired in their return. The Bruins have had a lot of guys playing deep into this tournament, so they're taking on a Blue Jackets team at home on Thursday. What do you think that's going to kind of look like for them now? Because with this storm, there's no way they're going to get in until Tuesday.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't care, but I don't know. This is a tournament that's so emotionally draining. You're emotionally invested in what you're doing. It's just a lot. It's going to take them a little bit of time. All the Canadian players, the American players, to get back into the swing of things and really be able to, go back to their day job, so to speak. I don't know what this. I'm more interested in. This is a huge moment for American hockey. I'm more interested in that, and this isn't necessarily the platform to go into that. But we've ascended to the number 2 team in the world, number 1 right now in terms of overall talent and depth, probably number 2. Based on what they've rolled out there the last few Olympics and their international team. That's exciting for the country. There are going to be more kids coming from those states that historically...
Florida, yeah.
Florida, Arizona. Where's Matthews from? California.
Kids your son's age are going to, remember this moment, watch this, and now want to play hockey.
Put them in the rink.
Yeah.
Yep. And they're going to keep building rinks in Tampa, in wherever these places are, where they're historically...
I grew up with a kid in Jacksonville, and for those who don't know, Tampa is 3.5 hours without any traffic. I grew up with a kid whose parents drove him to Tampa every single weekend to play hockey from Jacksonville. That's how dedicated they were.
It's a great sport. If you have the money, you need money to play.
Oh my gosh, so expensive.
It's hard to get ice time, the pads, all those things.
Skates.
Traveling around to the rinks.
Sticks are like $700 if you want a really good one. It's crazy.
So that's a part of the whole thing that's been. But in terms of identifying with some of the American players, this will obviously help, especially the people in this area that can go to these Hockey East games and check it out on a Friday night when BC and BU play. All these teams. Massachusetts won the national championship in 2021. BC and BU have been a little bit, in terms of national championships, down since Jack Parker and Jerry York retired. but there's still really good programs that are there every year knocking on the door. And some of the best amateur hockey is featured in this region. And I just feel like it's going to get even bigger and better after something like this, and just to see Canada lose is awesome. It's awesome to see a team like that go down, especially after what those curling losers were talking about on social media.
Oh my gosh, they
Get
totally
out of my
cheated.
face. Good. Hey, at least Canada's got the curling. You got your curling gold medal. Give him a stuffed animal. Give him a stuffed animal. Please give him a stuffed animal.
Don't make fun of Tina. What we're not going to do is make fun of Tina. Tina's my girl.
Get them that stuffy. And I want that image of them.
I want that stuffy. Listen, Jordan Binnington, I will take back everything I said about you if you will give me that Tina stuffy.
That is just,
everything.
That was so good to see the women getting that. I mean, they wanted to shove that thing right
they
up.
were on the verge of tears.
Oh, it was so good. I'm sorry.
It would make me feel better. Although I will say, have you been, okay, this is so niche. I love Macklin Celebrini so much because I covered the Sharks. That was like one of my first teams that I like worked for.
Okay.
So I love him, and obviously he's a big like name locally. Have you been keeping up with the Punch the Monkey stuff? Whenever I see Punch the Monkey sad with his little stuffed monkey, I'm like, this is Macklin Celebrini on Team Canada right now. Like literally just crying, trying to make the stuffy hold him and hug him. I'm like, this is Macklin Celebrini, leave him alone.
I just love how devastated they are. I mean, that's such a bad, nasty thing to say, but I just love it. The fact that they not only didn't win the gold, but lost to America. And Marchand, this was the final piece to the puzzle for him. He's won the cup. He's won everything. And this was what he wanted. I don't know if he'll be around in 4 years. Maybe he'll get his, a ceremonial spot on the team. But he wanted this more than anything. I think he wanted this more than an NHL season this year. He wanted to be a part of this team and win the gold. And it didn't happen. And it was Team USA getting it done.
I am out of breath. I need
I've
Maz's,
lost my voice.
My voice is. I need a Maz Bigelow tea sponsorship right now because I wish that you guys could have heard this studio just erupt. I will never in my entire life, for the rest of my days, forget what just happened in here. The way that we all just screamed. I threw a chair. I really hope we have this video at some point because I
believe Ryan is working.
I literally screamed, threw a chair. Jeff grabbed the kid.
Jeff grabbed the kid. Great moment. And then I brought him in, and it was something, we were supposed to, it was a moment we were hoping to have during the Super Bowl. Didn't happen, but we got it here. So that was great.
You want to know what you missed from my Super Bowl commentary the last couple of weeks?
I'd love to.
I'm not sure if you heard that I watched the Super Bowl from Hooters and Saugus.
Wow.
There was a point during the third quarter.
Look at Bennington's stupid face right now.
Where's Marshy? I want to see his medal moment there.
But it got so quiet in there that we could hear the people washing the dishes and the forks clanking in the sink in the back.
That's brutal. What made you go to Hooters?
I love Hooters.
Yeah?
Hooters has
breasts?
all of them.
Yeah.
I will.
Here it is.
Their naked wings are the best. Hooters has great wings. I love a curly fry. I hate to say it too, Hooters buffalo shrimp. Never in my life did I think that I would get shrimp at Hooters. Shrimp from Hooters, impeccable, so good.
Shrimp from Hooters,
so good. Nice. Sidney Crosby's hair is pissing me off.
Yeah. Look, if I'm Canada, you're obviously disappointed you didn't win. The game plan seemed to be there. They just couldn't solve Hellebuck. They had their chances. I thought McDavid choked on that breakaway. They've had a couple chances on the breakaway. Couldn't get it done. Had a wide open net in regulation. Should have won it. Couldn't get it in.
You know what this fuels? The Kachucks calling Draisaitl and McDavid the bridesmaid and never the bride.
Yeah. Let's go to Vasco's been on the line. Hey, Vasco.
Hey, how you guys doing? Congratulations on the win. And actually, I'm kind of happy for the goalie because I was listening to the commentaries before the game that he's a choker. He never won a big game. He showed them up.
Yeah. Who is he talking about?
I have no idea.
He's talking about Hellebuck.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, the firepower that Canada was able to put out there, and again, it wasn't 1980 in terms of you were a huge, massive underdog, but I think the way that this game unfolded to sit back and to reflect on what Hellebuck did and the chances that he denied and the breakaways with the best player in the world bearing down on you. That's a historic performance in that moment by that player. You know
something also amazing? Johnny Gaudreau's entire family being in the stands, kids and everything. I want to say it's one of the kids' birthdays, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, his second birthday.
Amazing. The way that they had the jersey in the locker room and everything.
He's got the stuffy.
Hey, I love Tina. I would do anything for one of those stuffies. I am no better than anybody else. I think they're so cute. They're so cute.
I mean, just an incredible game, incredible win for the country. And you know what? Damn it. I hope that it's something that the country can get behind.
Yeah, can we all hold hands and kiss for 5 minutes?
Under this win for 1 minute, please, everyone. I mean, this has been, sports is a unifier. And this was a great moment for the United States of America.
As long as they don't try to use their global entry when they get back.
I haven't gotten the feeling that this team has been overly political. I haven't really thought about it or, paid attention that much to that aspect of it. But this is a unifying moment for the United States. This is a historic win. First time in 46 years you beat your bitter rival in overtime in dramatic fashion. Okay? This is not the time to be divisive. This is the time to unite.
Look at Jeremy.
There he is. Look at that. And he's got a business degree.
He does.
Good for
From
him.
the University of Maine.
Yep.
Shout out the University of Maine. I'm actually really good friends with some of their hockey staff, so shout out to my buddies.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, more on this, more on the Patriots. Off-season, 9.5 wins. There's a Red Sox thought in there.
Tonight.
Celtics, that's correct. And Tatum. What's up with that? I have to get caught up, admittedly, Kendra, because with the Patriots and I haven't been as dialed in as on the Celtics. We're going to get into that too. Mark Kendra, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Boston's home for sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
This is Shaw Grandy, voice of the Celtics. Tune in tonight at 6 for Star Market Celtics tonight and check out the Star Market app. Earn rewards, save on your groceries and gas with Star Market for you. Download the Star Market app today. Go.
All right, back here, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Shout out to Jeff Williams, all over it for us. Team USA men's hockey gold medal champions, first gold medal since 1980. And from a historical perspective, we now have, and I'm still trying to collect the information here, but now we have some people, some Americans, who have won the Stanley Cup and an Olympic gold medal. I'm not sure if there's been an American that can say that to this point. Unless
maple syrup's about to get so expensive.
Seriously. Unless somebody from the 80 team won a Stanley Cup that I'm not aware of. I'm looking at the Triple Gold Club. There is no American featured on the Triple Gold Club roster or list. That's when you win the World Juniors gold medal. I don't know if they're going to factor the Four Nations in that. In one, or the World Championship. A gold in the World Championships, an Olympic gold, and a Stanley Cup. There is no American that I don't think has done that. But the Olympic gold and the Stanley Cup, Matthew Tkachuk has accomplished that, and there's probably others that I just haven't had time to look through. So that is a big deal for American hockey as well. And to just see them there.
You want to know something crazier that I just saw that I didn't realize in the moment? Connor Hellebuck had the assist on the winning goal.
Wow. That's what you can do on 3-on-3.
Insane. What a king. American hero.
He had more points in the game than Austin Matthews.
Facts. Can we trade him to Canada? Can they keep him?
Know.
Can they keep him?
He's just so good.
Give us Macklin Celebrini, and you can have Austin Matthews.
Yeah, Celebrini is they put his stats up earlier in the tournament, and he had almost. His stats were comparable to Sidney Crosby's Olympic career in statistics. And he was just in this tournament almost approaching some of Crosby's numbers. It was crazy. Have they announced an MVP? Do they
it's
do that?
Hellebuck. It's not even a question.
But do they do that
yes.
for the tournament? But tournament-wise, is he the tournament MVP?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe. I personally don't know how you take it away from him. Jeff, do you have any?
I don't even know. Do they do an MVP
that?
or is it just of this game? I'm not sure what they do.
Jeff, do you think it's anybody MVP? Obviously, Hellebuck.
He would be MVP, but I don't think they do that, though.
They do.
They used to. I know they used to.
Let me look.
In 2002, I remember it was Joe Sakic won it, the most outstanding or whatever the equivalent to that was. Just an incredible scene. I'm happy for Charlie McAvoy.
These photos are about to go down in absolute history. Like, holy crap. Look at those. Look at those cheesers, boys.
Every 4 years, I don't care about I don't want to say I don't care about the Four Nations. It's not this. Okay, the Four Nations is not this. It's not.
Are you in favor of keeping it, though? Because
yes.
at this point,
yeah.
It was fun, and it was. I did not find it gimmicky in any way, but I am in the camp that after watching these guys leave all of this on the line, that you can't have, a Four Nations, the Olympics, and expect these guys to perform for teams making all of this money every 2 years. Like, I think that that's way too much on their bodies, and we're going to have to have a difficult conversation here pretty soon. Because...
So what is that Johnny Gaudreau's son? Is that his son?
Is that his kid?
Oh, God bless this.
Oh, my God, I'm going to cry.
So good.
Oh, no.
That's his kids. That's so heartbreaking, but beautiful at the same time. I love this. That is a great moment for the family, and they deserve every second of that.
I'm such a softie. Like, I think people think that I'm, like, just a hard ass all the time, but I'm really, like, the softest human alive.
Listen, what I'm for, and you know this if you talk to me for 2 seconds, I am for a preeminent championship.
Oh, look at his daughter.
So if it's a champion, I liked what the Four Nations was. That was fun. We got juiced up for an international game in February of a non-Olympic year. But I am for a definitive, preeminent international competition. And this is it. It's the Olympics. That is it. So if you want to find a way to keep the world nations around or make it about some other stuff, prospects, or I don't know how you do it, but I don't. That's why I've always been turned off to the NBA in-season tournament, because the bigger deal that becomes, the less the NBA finals. You have to take something away from the NBA finals. It's just the way it is. There's no way around it. I'm sorry. You can't have two preeminent championships and have them both mean the world to the league. So this, to me, is the preeminent international competition in hockey. That's what it is, and it needs to stay that way. Steve is in Fall River. Hey, Steve.
If you weren't 10 years old in 1970, you're not going to understand my call. The 1980,
So good.
it's pathetic, actually. The 1980 game is not even remote. You can't call this. This is like ho-hum. Let me just yawn. You got to realize what was going on in the 1980 game. You want to talk about local? There were kids from Boston University playing in that game. They were playing the Soviet Union. That was a bigger group of players than there is now. Now it's just Russia. There were more players in it. Forget world history of what was happening at the time, how pathetic the United States was. We had a president telling us, President Carter, we have to expect less. Wear a sweater if it's cold. I mean, I'm giving you some little things. It was epic. Now, you said this is going to have some boom. It's not going to have the boom you think. The fallout from this is not going to be that big. In the 70s, you had the Bruins winning Stanley Cup titles, the Canada Cup, then this thing in the end of the decade in 1980. And that's why you had this build-out of hockey here. There was a gigantic build-out of youth hockey here.
Yep.
This isn't going to move the needle. I'm sorry you don't have the perspective I have, and I chuckle about, God bless, if that's your world experience. But this is on a scale of 1 to 10 in sports, this is a 1.5.
What?
I'm
going to
push back on that.
Steve, that's brutal. Come on, enjoy the moment. A 1.5. I mean, are you not a hockey fan? That must be the only thing. Because if you're a hockey fan, this is a huge moment. 1.5. I've been rooting for this moment literally my entire life. And you might be right about it's not going to move the needle, and there are not going to be rinks being built all over Arizona and Texas and Arkansas. But this is a big moment for any international fan. Especially a hockey fan. You love this moment if you're a hockey fan.
I'm going to push back on that just because nothing is the same as it was in 1980. One, the way that this is about to go so viral on social media, every kid's going to be able to watch this on their phone, their iPad, their tablet. They're going to be able to replay this forever. That's going to create such a social push of kids wanting to play hockey. And the other thing is that No, I'm going to try and say this as respectfully as I can, but the generation that had the opportunity to watch those teams are constantly complaining about how soft this generation is and how, we're just babies and we want everything handed to us and whatever. I'm sorry, but this is going to have more of an impact on a generation like mine than it will on a, generation who they were so disconnected from everything going on. Like this moment is going to last on social media for so long that how is this not going to leave an impact? I don't understand the argument. Like, you didn't have the virability of these types of moments back then, so it was easy for them to die. This isn't just going to die.
Well, I mean, look, I don't know if it's going to have an impact. What I do know is this sport, hockey, in the United States is already evolving beyond the Northeast and the upper Midwest. So I don't know what did that. I don't know who started that. I don't know if it was, 2002, but I can guarantee, I don't know. Let's look at the roster from the 2002 team that made the gold medal game or the 2010. I don't know if there were kids from Florida and Arizona and California on those teams. I don't. Maybe there were.
The game winner.
Right. Who scored the game winner. So, I just feel like hockey has already, we've seen these kids. Look at this shot. Look at this still shot. I mean, what a save.
He's a beast, dude.
Hockey has already evolved to other areas and pockets of the country it never was. And now these kids that were playing in those, that game back then,
also, how much
are winning the gold medal for this country.
No offense. I love our callers. You guys keep our listeners and our callers, whether you love us or hate us, you pay our bills. I love you all. But how do you watch what just happened? And that's the first thought you have. The first call you have is to sit here and say, this doesn't matter. This doesn't move the needle. This doesn't do anything. Are you joking? the entire country, after going through, I don't want to get political, whatever, but we're going through some pretty unaffordable times right now, and we're definitely fighting a little bit of a war amongst ourselves, a culture war, I think the kids are calling it. And you don't feel united to your fellow countrymen after seeing that. You're just going to call in and say, this isn't going to move the needle. Yeah. No kids are going to play hockey. That's your first thought?
I don't blow it. Don't blow it if you're out there. And I'm not going to tell people what to do, but I guess I am. Don't blow it by making it
if you're calling in
or divisive.
If you're calling in to crap on this game, don't even call in. I'm going to tell Jeff not to take your call. Get out of here. Positivity only. You can call 617-779-0985 from 2 to 6 tomorrow.
I'll take those calls. I'll take the negative calls. If they want to call in and talk S about this game, I'll take that call. 2002, Kendra, real quick.
I was in kindergarten.
No, don't worry about it. I'm just saying, here's the roster where the guys were from. They made the gold medal, lost to Canada 5-2. Michigan, Minnesota, Delaware, Virginia, Minnesota, Massachusetts, upstate New York, Massachusetts, New York, Connecticut, Korea. I don't know what that means. Michigan, Massachusetts, Utah, Michigan, Massachusetts, Illinois, Massachusetts, Saskatchewan. Don't know what that means. Minnesota, Michigan, Minnesota. So I don't know why there was some. They must have had
dual citizenship.
Yeah, dual citizenship.
They probably weren't good enough to make their teams.
My point is, there was nobody from the Southwest. There was nobody from Florida. Somewhere along the line, hockey expanded, and for some, I don't know if it was this run that put a hockey rink in Orlando when Jack Hughes was born a year before this team played in the gold medal game. I don't know. But something changed, and now we get kids from other parts of the country that just went in and made an impact in a gold medal winning game. For
some kid in Florida is going to go to multiple kids in Florida, whether they're boys or girls, just saw both USA teams win gold.
That's right.
And they're going to go to their parents and say, I want to play hockey.
Correct.
That's what's going to happen. And if you don't think so, you didn't have a childhood. Okay?
617-779-0985. Mark Kendra, 98.5, the Sports Hub.
Boston's home for sports, 98.5.
All right, back here. Sorry. It's been unlike any other day I've ever had on the air. Dondero Kendra Middleton.
The amount of people being mean to me for just being here for this is so funny.
What do you mean being mean for being here?
Everyone's like, I'm getting DMs right now from people like, I found out you were at the station for this, so I turned it off. I'm like, okay, sweet.
Are you American?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't see the problem. And you had a great reaction.
I love making people mad.
Steve is in Nashville. Hey, Steve.
Hey, guys. How you doing? Look, that Steve doesn't reflect most Steves, okay? I'm a 62-year-old guy who watched the 80 Olympics. I love hockey. This was awesome. I don't know how you can't be excited for it. The whole thing with Johnny Gaudreau and, Hellebuck's, I guess, a ULOL guy who stood on his head. This was great. Steve, lighten up, for God blessed sake.
Correct. I'm look, if you want to offer, and I'm locked up here, Jeff, thanks for the call, Steve. If you want to offer some perspective, fine. I understand. We said this. We said it wasn't 1980. It was a much bigger underdog situation in 1980. I got it. Okay? But don't talk to me. Canada won the gold medal in 2002, 2010, 2014, 2018, 2022, right? Nobody else has won other than Sweden in 06. Have they won the gold in every Olympics since, other than Sweden in 06? The last 25 years? That's a big favorite. That's a big thing when you knock them off. Oh, and by the way, they're your bitter rival in the sport. Okay?
And they just beat you in Four Nations.
Right.
So,
which was heated a year ago on your soil. Or it was in both countries, I guess, but whatever. I'm just saying, this is a big, I just know the way I've approached it personally. I'm not going to speak for anybody else. As a hockey fan, this tournament has meant as much to me as following the Boston Bruins' pursuit of a Stanley Cup. That's from one hockey fan. So this is a big deal. I don't care if it doesn't match up to 1980 in terms of how, whatever.
I wasn't alive. I don't care.
I wasn't either. So it was way before either of our times. We respect the accomplishment, obviously. Great movie. Probably my favorite movie. I know this is a big deal to me. So I don't want to hear that this is not, whatever. Marcus in the car. Hey, Marcus.
Marcus!
Hey, guys. Hey, Kendra. I just want to talk about the perspective of this win from the NHL, right? We have been waiting since 2014 to get NHLers back in the Olympics. Canada's always been talking about their best. USA's been talking about their best. We finally get it, and USA wins. We finally get over, I don't want to say we get over the miracle hump, but it was time that USA showed that they are a behemoth in the hockey world. This game will grow the hockey world from here. I just love everything about this. I know the last caller already said it, but Steve, come on, man. You got to be happy about this one. Thanks, guys.
Just as a fan of sport, the matchup, okay? It's a great international competition because both countries have really high-end, top-level players. You got the best in the world on the ice competing. Whatever sport it is, you got the best out there. How can that not really rev your engine?
The only place on the ice that the USA was better on paper was goaltending, and that showed today. The only spot that they had an advantage was the goaltending.
Yeah, I didn't think Binnington was awful. He made some good plays, good saves.
But he always, I don't know what it is. He is so just the tier above mid as a goalie. But in these big moments for his entire career, I mean, look at Game 7 against the Bruins. For some reason, just whatever, he's the opposite of a negative clutch gene. It's unbelievable.
I'm just talking about facts. And the facts are that the regional aspect of hockey has changed. It's not that anymore. There are more kids playing in other parts of the country, and I think that's cool to see for a sport that I've loved for years. I played it as a kid, for a sport that I think is a lot of fun to watch. You go to the games, a lot of fun to watch, and I'm really glad that USA Hockey was able to capitalize on this opportunity with a great team, with a great situation. I'm so glad that Canada was able to come back in those games, and they were able to do this against Canada in the gold medal. Canada. That's the best part about this whole thing. Let's go to Mark in North Carolina. Hey, Mark.
Hey, guys. I honestly am so tired of hearing about the 1980 team. You can stick that team in your sock.
Yeah.
This team, this year, if you take this year's Canadian team they would wipe the Russians with their jock from the 1980s. The talent on this Canadians team is so high, both just across the NHL. So I think it's an incredible accomplishment for this year's USA team. Yeah, baby.
And they've done it the right way. I mean, again, they've built their 20 years ago, USA, despite 2002, was not the second best team. Sweden was better. The Czechs were better. Russia was probably still better. They have built themselves into legitimately probably the definitive number 2 team in the world with respect to Canada and everything they've won and the depth and everything. They're not number 2 right now. They're number 1. But overall, they are right there with Canada, and everyone else is below them, is my point. Okay, more calls to come. 617-779-0985. We're going to get to all your calls. We got to take a quick break. Mark Kendra, 98.5 The Sports Hub. We just posted the gold medal reaction video on the 98.5 Twitter and Instagram account. Jeff Williams was on his knees celebrating and banging the ground. You have to see it. It's unbelievable. Mark Kendra, we'll be right back.
Boston's home for sports. 98.5 The Sport.
Back here, 98.5 The Sports. I'm Mark Dondero, Kendra Middleton, 617-779-0985. We are celebrating the United States men winning the gold medal, first time in 46 years. What a moment here in the station as we were all celebrating as the goal went. I mean, it went under the pad.
Jeff Williams,
Biddington.
honestly, the GOAT of celebrating.
I'll forever keep that. If there's a video I could frame and put up in my house on loop, that's one of them. Jeff on the knees, slamming
the ground
like he's about to play defense on LeBron James in an NBA. You know, it was just an unbelievable scene. And what a win for this team and what they did for Johnny Gaudreau's children afterwards. I just loved every second of that celebration and watching the Canadians get the silver medal was great. I
wanted them to give out the stuffies to the boys.
They did to McDavid because he's the acting captain, or why'd they do that to only McDavid?
I don't know.
Felt like he needed one.
Tina Stuffy.
I need a Tina Stuffy. Can I buy one of these?
Lucas is in Norfolk. Hey, Lucas.
Hey, how you doing, guys? Chronic listener. Absolutely. Calling all the time. When I listen, and Kendra, I give you so much credit. My daughter has been listening for years because she's in the back seat with me. And she just keeps thinking like, oh my gosh, there's a girl who likes sports like me. And she woke up at 8 o'clock this morning. We made a nice breakfast spread and watched the entire game. And she is ecstatic. She's never played hockey before. And it's one of those things where now she's got this push, this drive. And she's like, this is awesome. This is cool. The women won, the men won. It's a great day for the USA.
PWHL games are calling her name. For sure.
It's a great day. And again, just to not be on board with that level of action. I think some of the biggest things that have hurt hockey over the years are the access to it. You know, can we talk about this after? All right. Sorry. My son's here. We were celebrating, but now he's prompting me with an iPad problem in the middle of a segment. Access has been a problem. It's hard to get ice time. You have to have the money, the means to be able to play. I think part of it, you can't see their faces when they play hockey. I think that's a little part of it because in basketball, you can see everybody's face. It's hard to get to know the players because you can't see them as clearly. And obviously, there just haven't been as many Americans who dominate the sport like other sports that we see. So that's been a big part of it. But now you've got both the men and the women winning gold. That's a thing. That's a big deal in this country's athletic sports history, the landscape.
Well, and it's so tangible to go watch so many of these people. Like, obviously, there were a couple of Bruins on Team Finland and Team USA. A lot of the girls who won the gold medal for the women's team play for the Fleet, like I've been talking about the last 2 days. It's so accessible to take your kids to watch these people. Don't let this excitement fall off. Don't let the love fall off. Go out there, support the teams, support the girls, go to the games, keep the train rolling. Because the more we put into, the money and the paying, it's like just people paying attention to stuff like this, the more hockey's going to grow and the more often we can experience this again.
Steve is in the car. Hey, Steve.
Hey, how we doing today, guys? This game was absolutely phenomenal. I watched all the way at home. I had to go visit my son, so I drove during overtime watching on my phone. The celebration at the end with the Gaudreau children definitely got me teary-eyed. But what makes this the most special is during this whole tournament, the U.S. didn't even play their best hockey.
I mean, that's a tough thing to say to me. Maybe you could be right. I didn't break it down in the way. What is their best hockey? They won the gold. I mean... That's what makes it even more special. They won the gold. But, I mean, throughout the whole tournament, some of these teams they played, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's been an unbelievable talent throughout this whole tournament, but they should have dominated some of these teams they played, and they really didn't. I mean, some games they weren't even the more physical team. They just weren't playing their best hockey during this whole tournament, and they still won it all. Sure. You could say the same for Canada. Obviously, they were trailing in those last two games. I thought they were going to lose to, Finland. So they found a way. I mean, it happens. It's a one-game situation. The fact that they were able to win 2 overtime games, 3-on-3 in this tournament adds to the legacy of this team. I thought that was incredible drama. The Quinn Hughes goal was a beautiful shot, the highest level of execution offensively. And then this goal by his brother. I mean, what a moment for the family. Jerry's in the truck. Hey, Jerry.
Hey, guys, I got the flags flying on the back of the truck. They're both mounted to hockey sticks.
Damn right, Jerry. Well done.
I'm beeping the horn. It ain't winter for 1980, but I've been waiting 46 years. And, baby, this is beautiful. Woo!
Well said, Jerry. Keep it rocking. I love what Jerry was doing there. I love the mentality. Everybody needs to adopt Jerry's mentality and mindset right now because that's what this is all about. Bringing people together, uniting this nation, and winning a gold medal, just the drama associated with it, awesome.
I just can't get over the love for the Gaudreaus. I mean, I was talking back to Jeff. I was so glad you were talking for that minute because I was literally sobbing. I don't even think Jeff could make out what I was saying because I was literally crying.
Beautiful moment for the sport. Beautiful moment for that family and for the way to cap off a historic victory for the program. For USA Hockey like that, with that moment, with the kids, bringing them out, having the jersey there. My gosh.
I also love how we watched just such a historic thing take place, and then we watched the medals, and they're like, you know what? Now let's get to some luge.
Let's get to some luge. All right.
Get these events over with.
Yeah. I mean, is this live? Are we still watching this?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is definitely live.
Whatever.
So this is, I mean, hey, we might win another medal here, I guess. Go USA Luge.
Yeah, let's do another one. Mark is in Medford. Hey, Mark.
Hey, before I get to what I want to say, I just want to say this is just as climactic as 1980. There's only one difference between the two. You had a bunch of college kids that were together for 6 months, and they went against a Russian team, a professional team that was together for 10 years. That's what made that so freaking special, okay? But this is just as special. To see the looks on Crosby, McDavid, and that big-nosed Bennington's face said it all. Man, his nose is freaking huge. Did you see it? Oh, my word.
I'll have to look it up.
Anyway, why is Charlie McAvoy not getting any love? Yes, Hellebuck made the save, but after that, Charlie saved his bacon.
Okay.
He pulled a Michael Ryder.
I'm kind of upset with McAvoy for taking that penalty, though, because
that
could have changed this game so much. I'm really happy for him. He played really well through this tournament, but when he took that penalty, I was like, ooh.
I couldn't be happier for him. Obviously, he had a sour experience.
The 3-on-5 should have been the death of it.
That was such a huge moment in this game. McAvoy, I thought he was a physical presence that this team needed. They had a lot of skill. They have a lot of goal scorers, a lot of guys that can put the puck in the net. I think McAvoy's physicality was a big part of this team. This game, that was a bad penalty, but he saved the shot there. It was labeled, and he found a way to keep it out of the net. I mean, somebody needs to go online and put together a montage of all the prime chances that Canada had. It was unbelievable that they were able to avoid. But that's what it takes. And just in terms, again, the 1980 thing, I get it. It was different. They were huge underdogs. Amateurs versus pros and the Soviets, and we didn't even know who they were, but they were just so good. The international climate and the Cold War and all that, fine. But this is best on best. And when it's best on best, it's always a little bit different and a little bit, in a way, better because the top talents in the world are playing for their country. You saw it in the way that, that line was insane to think about, having McKinnon and McDavid and Celebrini out there on a line. One line. I've never seen hockey players move like that at once. It was incredible.
It's honestly
like
really
a joystick on skates.
It's really impressive, too, the way that when it came down to 3-on-3, both of the overtime games, both Hughes brothers are the saviors. What the odds are so low, but just incredible, especially because Quinn in his game winner was out there for 3 minutes, called for the fake change, and then scores the game winner. Just absolutely impeccable stuff. We can talk about Connor Hellebuck. He obviously was the MVP in this game, but those two throughout the tournament just kept the team alive.
And, they dominated Slovakia, whatever, but they went through Sweden. They went through Canada to win the gold. There is no other team you need to talk about going through. Those are the teams. That's the team. So, unbelievable the way it transpired. Let's get a quick headlines from Kendra. Right back to your calls, back to the celebration. 98.5, the Sports Hub.
From the Telefair Tiger Studios, this is Boston's home for sports. Touchdown! The flagship station of the Patriots, Bruins, the Celtics. WBCFM and HD Boston 98.5, the Sports Hub. Leslie Media Group station celebrating 65 years of broadcasting. Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
You've heard the celebrations Jack Hughes. Hughes of red, white, and blue. I will not stop saying it. Team USA wins their first Olympic gold medal in the men's ice hockey since 1980 against Team Canada today in overtime. Bruins back on the ice this Thursday at TD Garden to take on the Columbus Blue Jackets. Your New England Revolution falls 4-1 in their opener last night against Nashville. This was their first game under new head coach Marko Mitrovic. And the Celtics rivalry game taking on the Lakers tonight at 6:30 as their West Coast road trip continues. Sports Up headlines were brought to you by the 99 restaurants. The $14.99 big deal meals at the 99s, like the juicy chopped sirloin, all big deal meals are now available all day, every day for just $14.99. You gotta love the nines. You're listening to 95 The Sports Hub, Boston's home for sports. I'm Kendra Middleton, and your next update is around 1.
Legendary franchises on one legendary radio station. It's the Sports Hub. In this town, sports happens 24/7. We're Boston's home for sports. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
11 seconds. You've got 10 seconds. The countdown going on right now. Morrow up to Schultz. 5 seconds left in the game. You believe in miracles? Yes! And it's Werenski. Now Jack Hughes hooks it around the car. United States recovers. Back across it comes. Jack Hughes wins it. The golden goal for the United States. For the first time since the 1980 miracle, the United States takes the gold. Jack Hughes beating Jordan Bennington.
What a call from Kenny Albert. What a moment. United States hockey. I mean, the other thing, Kendra, look, it's just different. The way that they won the game in overtime with the goal like that, I haven't experienced something like that. BC, I remember my family had Boston College season tickets, and I feel like they won the national championship in 2001 on an overtime goal. But it doesn't compare to this. I mean, we might have been watching that, and it was exciting. But this is, I mean, literally my whole life waiting for this, wanting to see this accomplishment by a team, and it happened in overtime. Does this
compare to any of the championships that you've gotten to experience as like a New England fan?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's right up there with all of them.
Wow. See, I don't know what that's like because my team has sucked my whole life. And so.
I mean, you win a couple, and this is going to sound, bloated. There were 2 times I remember reacting like the way I reacted on that video. 2 times. Vinatieri making the kick against the Rams, and Johnny Damon hitting a grand slam in Game 7 against the Yankees.
I was the same way with Johnny Damon's grand slam.
Those are the only 2 times I remember reacting like that. Even Malcolm Butler's interception, I didn't go as crazy as that. That's probably number 4. Where
Damon and Butler, those are the 2 compared to what I just did.
It was
on the floor. You mean slapping the floor?
When he made the kick, I lost it in 2001. And when Damon hit the grand slam, I lost it in that moment. And that was it. And
when the Jaguars came back against the Chargers, that's probably the only time in my life that I have reacted in the same way that I just did. But I was in the stands for that. And it wasn't even like a championship. It wasn't a medal or anything. It was just I never in my wildest dreams thought that would happen and being there. And yeah, that was that. Yeah.
See, I love sudden death. And I hate it, but I love it. You know what I mean? Like, I love it. And it's so dramatic. And I just love the fact that it could be over. You could be the hero or the GOAT in an instant. And I love the fact that they have to play under that type of pressure and that they have to, they know if the goal goes in, it's over. And the fact that it happened that way, if they were up 2-0, that wouldn't have been, obviously we wouldn't have had the reaction like that.
Have you ever been in a high pressure situation like that? No, I mean, obviously you've never played in a gold medal match, but what's the most high pressure situation that you've been in? Because
in an athletic event?
Just anything. I can't even imagine. Like, how do you keep calm? How do you keep calm like that? I would go insane.
You focus only on what it will be like when it goes your way. Because if you think of anything else, I mean, I don't know. That's when I played nothing to that level. But when I was in big at bats in college in the playoffs for baseball, I would just completely and utterly zero in on when this goes my way, it's going to be awesome. And that's what I just obsessed over, to try to get away from the fact that, hey, if you don't get a hit here, the season might be over. I don't know. I mean, I've never dealt with that type of athletic.
I can't imagine the amount of pressure. I just genuinely... Ugh.
The good news is, in hockey, it's such a reactionary sport. It's not like a field goal attempt or a golf shot.
Not
like
the baseball when
no.
you just have to sit there
when
on
you're
the bench.
Right. When you're out
dumb.
there on the ice, you're just reacting to the puck and you're playing the game. Now, I'm not saying they don't feel pressure, but it's not the same as, okay, they're going to freeze the kicker and now it's all on you and you have to just do the thing that... It's a reactionary sport, so it's a little bit easier to deal with the pressure, I would think, but they're still feeling a ton of pressure.
Would you rather be in the shootout for like a clutch hockey situation? Would you rather have to pitch the final pitch of something? Let's say you have all of these skills of like a World Series game, you need like one more out. Or would you rather kick a field goal in a make or miss situation? Which three would you? Because I feel like those are all really like high pressure situations with the same you need something.
If you're talking about being the hero,
yeah,
the visual of the shootout goal would be my choice. As much as I would love the ball in my hands,
I think I'd want to kick the field goal. I think that'd be way more fun.
Okay, maybe. I mean, I would love to win the gold medal on a nasty. I mean, the girl who won the game for
Megan Keller
wasn't just the goal. It was a nasty goal. Like, that makes it even cooler. If you executed something like that in the shootout, a disgusting move that ended the game, and you win the gold on that visual, that is...
The goaltending we're producing in the U.S. here is unmatched.
Yeah.
I mean...
Swayman's, an afterthought.
Aaron Frankel faced 99 shots, and 2 of them went in. That's insane. The goaltending in the U.S., that's what we should hang our hat on. We produce goalies unlike anybody else here.
Yeah, I mean, I think they have for a long time. Ryan Miller was an excellent goalie. I think that was his name. Was it Ryan Miller who played on the 2010 team? Do you remember his first name? I forget his first name.
Someone said to you, wait, Red Sox 2004, Pats 2001.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, top of head.
Those are the only two times. And then Butler was just below that. I think I was just so stunned. I didn't really react initially to the Butler interception, and then I let myself get excited. But that was a different situation. Yeah, we do produce goalies. What was Miller's last? Was it Miller? Ryan Miller? I want to say it was Ryan Miller.
Yeah, Ryan Miller.
Yeah, he was awesome during those tournaments, especially 2010. All right, back to the calls. Who's up next here? Chris is in Ipswich. Hey, Chris.
Hey, so stole my thunder a little bit, but that was a great win. But I think what you also saw was historically that performance by Hellebuck was the greatest performance in a winner-take-all game I've seen in any sport ever. I can't think of anybody else that has come close, and good for that guy. He's going to have that for the rest of his life because that was incredible.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at all and again, somebody will have to go back and do this. When you look at the golden opportunity, no pun intended, opportunities that they had, that Canada had, the fact that they were able to avoid giving up the goal in large part because of Hellebuck. Some of it was luck, but how many breakaway? You tell me that those guys have that many chances on the breakaway and they were 0 for 2? Unbelievable.
Well, the one that McDavid had in the second, I believe it was during the power play where it just felt like he didn't even get his shot lined up. That was the one that I was like, yep, this is it.
That was a choke.
The best of the best. Yep. He's about to do it to us, and he absolutely choke is the right word.
He didn't know what to do. He got in there. He thought he was going to shoot. He thought he'd deke, and he ended up just kind of trying to stuff it home. It was borderline amateur hour. I thought that was for the world-class player that Connor McDavid obviously is. I thought that was a disgusting level of execution in that moment from the best player on the ice to do that on a breakaway. I thought that was a huge save by Hellebuck right there. That was, I mean, so many huge moments that guy, and on the penalty kill. The 5-on-3, I thought he was awesome. Might not have been the most highlight level saves, but that sequence, he was great. On the near side, the way he got up against the post there, unbelievable. Bob is in Lawrence. Hey, Bob.
I will always have a lot of PTSD from 2019. I still cannot believe to this day that the Bruins lost to that crappy Blues team. They were just a bunch of goons.
Yep.
So Jordan Bennington, enjoy your stuffed animal. Enjoy your silver medal, buddy.
That's right. Well said.
Yeah.
Let me just real quick, I'm going to go through, just the evolution of the USA roster. This is the 2010 team that made the gold medal game. Michigan, Connecticut, Michigan, Minnesota, Indiana, California, but that was Brooks Orpik, who grew up in upstate New York and went to BC, so that doesn't even count. Michigan, Wisconsin, Mass, Minnesota, New York, upstate New York, Connecticut, New York, Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Pennsylvania, Minnesota, Wisconsin, New Jersey, and then a dual citizenship with Canada. Nobody from the South. It's just evolved, and it's good for USA Hockey. And obviously, it's not just good. It won them the freaking gold medal. The Florida boys won them the gold medal in overtime. 2 goals in overtime. Craig in Chicago. Thanks for holding on, Craig.
Hi, no problem. Thanks for taking my call. First thing, I'd like to shout out Ken Morrow, Flint, Michigan, and Bowling Green, who went right to the from the Olympic podium to the New York Islander defense and won 4 Stanley Cups. So he was the OG to do that. But in terms of, sorry, I'm jogging. I lost my breath. This is a real interesting discussion. Anyways, thinking about the possible ramifications in more popular consciousness. For example, in 1980, I was 6. My old man couldn't watch the game live. It was on tape delay, even though it was in late class in New York. Whereas in 2026 here, me and my friends' kids, streaming the game from Milan and Zoom calling at the same time. I feel like we live in a world where, holy camoli, if you are even remotely interested in hockey these days, you have all kinds of access to it. Where, in 1980, I don't comparing one story to another. I'm not that interested, but we went from a state of dark ages to within a couple of years, national contract on ESPN, proliferation on regional cable and stuff like that. So really in terms of big bangs, that was just a huge one.
Huge one. Thanks for the call, Craig. Good luck on your run. I will say this. I don't know if you checked it out, Kendra, but 1980 was released a few weeks ago on Netflix. It was like a doc on the 1980 team.
I watched
So basically, if you remember the last thing Mike Eruzione says is we could use a 1980 now. He, alluding to the political climate and the divisiveness and all those things. And they got it. I mean, in terms of the hockey, they got it. Now, I don't know if the nation rallies behind this team. I don't know how many telegrams they have on the wall there like they did then, or if the nation will rally behind them, or if it'll unify people. I don't know if that's going to happen. But in terms of the hockey, they got the 1980 that he was calling for at the end of that documentary. I thought that was a great way to end the documentary. And they got it. And they got the win. And it is I can't wait for all I'm going to consume all of it. The reactions, the different things that are across the internet, people watching it, what you were doing, putting the phone up when we were watching earlier in the game to get a reaction. I want to see all of it, especially with the golden goal. Everybody could have been ready. I'm sure a lot of people were recording, watching that overtime. The golden goal being scored was just a moment that you're never going to forget. As a fan, my son is sitting out there. He'll never forget that moment. As a young hockey fan, that was just awesome. And the Bruins, I forget. They won the last game when they beat Vancouver. That wasn't an overtime game. They won 4-0, right? It was
correct.
Yeah, so as great as that was, it wasn't this. I mean, it was just a different experience. So that was unlike anything I've ever experienced. 617-779-0985. We'll go back to your calls. We'll get to some other stuff, maybe, but I had some other thoughts that we wanted to get to. Mark Dondero, Kendra Middleton, USA wins gold, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Boston's home for sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
I feel like a hockey people really get into the international competition. True hockey people, and that's why I was so invested in what we saw. I don't know, where does that rank for you in terms of things that you've seen as a sports fan?
I think the only thing that beats it for me personally, like I said, is that Chargers game that I was at, that the Jags came back in.
Okay. That's a big deal.
I mean, I was on the Green Monster during the ALCS a couple years ago for Yankees Red Sox, and that was, I mean, I didn't grow up a Red Sox fan or anything, but that was fun.
Yeah.
But I just, as far as like the stage and everything like that, I don't know if there is a comparison for me, just because I didn't grow up here and I don't have the championship reactions to compare it to.
When you talk about a goal, I mean, the golden goal, the way that could have gone either way, that game, that overtime, and to win it like that in an instant where it's over, that's it, done, you won. It just takes it to another level, like it or not. And Mike is in New Hampshire to talk about the game and when it was played. Hey, Mike.
Yeah, it's actually been great to listen to all these people call in, because I missed the game. I didn't see it. And it's, as a huge sports fan, I feel kind of a little let down. Like, I definitely would have loved to tune in for something like that. There was no, look, it's probably my fault, more or less, but I'm not a huge hockey fan. I'm a huge sports fan, and I just can't imagine, like, any other major sporting event allowing, like, a huge game like this to be played at 8 in the morning. Or, in this kind of market. Like, it's just crazy that they would let that happen, which is disappointing, because it sounds like it was an awesome game, awesome experience. The family, I mean, a huge, way to grab viewers as a sports fan I feel like was missed. Maybe I'm an outlier. I think ratings will show, hopefully I'm wrong. I think just for the sport, though, like, how does that happen? How do they?
Well, thanks for the call. And I'll just say, because it's not the sport. It wasn't for the sport. It was the Olympics.
They make the schedule so far in advance because they have to. And I get that there were, people in California and Western Canada watching this at 5 o'clock in the morning, but the rest of the world just can't predict or cater to our time zones and expect that, we're both going to be there in this moment. We should cater the watching around them. But you have to also consider that some of these other events that are wrapping up, they need the daytime. They also need the TV time. They need the daytime so they can compete. It's how the cookie crumbles. Unfortunately, we can't expect, the world to revolve around us. And here's the thing too. Am I upset about it? Yes, I've complained about it on Twitter at length. I understand that it is my most privileged American take, but all of these other people around the world who watch the NHL with their guys, they're watching those games at really inconvenient times for them. It's just unfortunately how the cookie crumbles depending on where the Olympics are or the World Cup or whatever. You have to make these schedules, you have to plan, and you can't really be like, well, we expect, Canada and USA to be there. We should put it at a, whatever time. It's just, that's how it is.
There is a level of disappointment that it was at that time. I mean, my friend Ken texted me as the third period was about to get underway, and he's like, I'm on my way to third grade boys basketball.
Yeah.
And it's, I mean, I am sure they were streaming it or whatever, but yeah, it would have been better if it was in prime time or a time you could really clear the deck and I mean, a lot of people I'm sure did do that. And there is something, I don't know if romantic is the word, but something about, I mean, I'll never forget when TJ Oshie was scoring those goals in the shootout against Russia in, I think that was 2014. I was watching it, eating breakfast with Eric Lowe, my college roommate, who was up at the time. He was in Boston for something. And we were at a diner in Brighton, just eating pancakes, watching Oshie again. And there was something about that. We always remember the morning we watch Oshie down Russia. So I'm sure there's some experiences like that out there. It's kind of unlike when you watch the Super Bowl in prime time or a big event. They're always in prime. You're at breakfast. One of the callers said with his daughter, he had the whole spread out.
Amazing.
It's a little different.
You also have to remember too, it's just you can't plan. I think so many people just expect because we have the NHL that they're going to operate on our schedule. The other thing I was going to say too, TJ Oshie, his commentary is incredible.
Yeah,
great hockey player, but his commentary throughout this was also awesome. He's grown a lot as a broadcaster, and I really appreciate listening to him. And I didn't know how the transition from being a player to a broadcaster would go for him, because sometimes it goes really well and sometimes it doesn't. We've watched the growing pains of Tom Brady here locally for quite some time, but TJ Oshie crushed these Olympics.
I think to that, Kenny Albert, awesome call. I thought that was a really good call. in a way as an old school hockey. I would have loved to have heard a Doc Emmerich call in that moment. I would have loved to hear a Gary Thorne call in that moment to win the gold medal. I don't know if he ever even did the Olympics. But I thought Kenny Albert nailed it for the most part, and Chris is in Rhode Island. Hey,
the only guy that could have been better would be Doc.
Doc. That would have been
Doc would have lost his mind. I would have cried.
Yeah, what's up, Chris?
Yeah. Hey, guys. Great show. I'm so hyped about this, and I don't think that we can understate the impact that the Four Nations had hyping this up. And this is such a big deal for me personally, just because it had to be this way, right? It had to be U.S. and Canada, the John Hamm hype Instagram videos. Like, it had to be us versus them. It had to be in overtime. It had to be a golden goal to get back to Crosby. You know, like, all of that stuff. It just, I can't think of anything else that even compares.
That is an interesting kind of angle to all of this, Kendra. And if I'm the NHL and if I'm hockey in general, that is a big priority of mine. I want to figure out exactly, because there was something to the Four Nations. That was a good event. People were into it.
I agree.
It was a really quality product. There's something you can use there, but I also want that pecking order to be established and definitive. What is the preeminent international event? And maybe somebody, but maybe you're not going to like that, and you're going to say, just enjoy both of them. Well, for me, I like to know what's the best of the best, and that's what I want to know. And if I'm hockey, I'm trying to decide and figure out a way to put them in the proper perspective for fans so they know what is the top international event in the sport. I'm not saying diminish what the Four Nations brought you, but if there was ever a way to make that more of like an all-star game thing.
I was just going to say something controversial. I think the Four Nations was awesome. It was fun. It hyped up this game. It brought a lot of, familiarity to the matchup for people who don't watch hockey all the time.
Yeah.
But I think it's got to go. Like, we can't have unless they change the formatting of it, because it was last year. If they do it every 2 years, then we get it on the, year before the Olympics. I feel like if that's going to stay, they've got to do it every 2 years. But at the same time, it's like it's not everybody involved, and it just feels like too much. Like I said earlier, it's too many games on these guys' bodies in a time where they should be taking a break and focusing on getting healthier to make a deeper, run for their NHL team. I don't know how the Four Nations and the Olympics continue unless they change when the scheduling will be.
It's a good take. I don't know the answer to that. Like I keep saying, if I'm them, I would want to establish what, because then you can figure out scheduling. You can figure out what's in the best interest of the league, of the players, if you know what's the top international event that you're going to have to cater to. Because this is too important to them. These guys want to play in the Olympics.
100%. And I think I would much rather play in the Olympics than the Four Nations. But how pissed would people locally be, God forbid, if like Charlie McAvoy got hurt in the Four Nations last year? Like, people would be pissed and they wouldn't want him to play in the Olympics. And I don't want to see that happen.
What I would do, and this is just kind of off the top of my head, if there was ever a way, and no disrespect to the World Juniors and anything like that, if there was ever a way for the NHL or hockey to kind of piggyback off of the popularity and the success of the Four Nations and make that the top amateur event, that would be, I think, their best case scenario. You keep the Olympics with the pros, and that is the top international event, but the Four Nations could still mean
it's like
something.
the Pop-Tart Bowl. It's the People's Championship.
Yeah, I'm just, like the way it used to be in the Olympics with the amateurs. Try to dip into that type of mentality and that way of thinking of the game.
You just don't get the viewership.
You won't get the viewership, but the hockey fans, I feel like, would care. If especially if there was a USA-Canada dynamic like we saw, if their younger talent was on a showcase that people were into, I think the hockey community would care. I don't know if that's the answer. I do know I would, as a fan, like to know one definitive international event. The other one, because they'll start to get watered down if you keep going back and forth. It just won't be as special. Let's get another one. Paul is in Andover. Let's take Paul. Hey, Paul.
Hey, I started watching hockey when Bobby Orr's rookie season. And in 71, the Bruins were the highest scoring team in NHL history at the time. And Ken Dryden came out of college, and he pulled off what that Hellebuck just did for one game. And it was absolutely stunning that he came and kept them in that game, because that Canadian team looked so dominant in the second and third period. It's just absolutely amazing, and I can only imagine how many walls in Canada have holes in them right now.
No doubt.
That Bruins, when they scored that goal and won that medal.
Yeah, it's a great point, and I don't know if I'd say dominant. Did you feel like Canada dominated the play in that game? They controlled the play in the game.
The second period, yeah.
Okay.
I think that the shot differential was like
it was close to
19
2-1.
to 8.
Yeah.
Like it was nuts. I think that, I would say after the 3-on-5, yeah.
I just didn't feel like they were getting dominated. I felt like they controlled the play in the second period. There were too many times where it felt like the Canadians were on a power play when they weren't. But dominated, I did not think the U.S. looked out of position or overwhelmed. I just felt like they were getting, they were allowing Canada to dictate more of the pace than you'd want.
But see, for me, I don't want to use the word dominate because that feels a little bit too harsh. But I was constantly having to watch Connor Hellebuck make saves and stand on his head, and I didn't feel the same way about the U.S. attacking Jordan Binnington.
Sure, you're right. My son, when we were watching, asked me, because I got all upset right before Canada scored at the icing. And he was like, why are you so mad about the ice? I was like, because that's another offensive zone faceoff, and you keep doing that, eventually a team like Canada is going to take advantage, and boom, it wasn't even a clean win, but they get it back to the point, one pass to Makar, and that's that. So I cannot get over we're going to have to put that in perspective too, what Binnington did in terms of a one-game heroic effort. That's got to have a comp. Real quick, Justin's in Lynn. Hey, Justin.
Hey, Mark. I've never felt the way I felt today watching that game. I didn't see the game in 1980, but this one felt different. This is the first time that I've seen a game like this, and I'm really grateful that I got to see a first time in 46 years that they won the champion.
Well said, Justin. A lot of people are feeling that way. Ben is in Rhode Island. Hey, Ben, good morning.
Dondero.
Good morning.
I'm taking umbrage.
Yeah?
I'm taking umbrage with these people who are complaining about an 8 a.m. game. I just came home from Walgreens for picking up my eardrops, right? I had to navigate through all sorts of cars all morning because they're having parties on the street. If you don't like the fact that the Olympic gold medal match is at 8 a.m., you know what? You're not an American. You're the kind of person that suspends reporters for creativity. You're the kind of person who opens up the soup at the supermarket and takes a sip out of the ladle. Go move to Canada if you're not happy with it. We won. That's the way it is. Dondero, I love you. Kendra, you're beautiful. God bless America.
Real people didn't go to sleep. They just stayed up and kept drinking.
That's right. You're exactly right.
I love him.
It's the John Wallachs of the world.
Yes.
That's the problem.
Yes, the eagle has landed. The free bird is John Wallach.
I just think the take there is just embrace it. Is it the perfect time for a game where, everything is done for the day and you can guys say, no, but it's the Olympics. It's unlike usual events that you're used to watching. Embrace that. Embrace the time. Embrace the oddness that you're eating breakfast and feeling what you're feeling watching such a massive sporting event unfold.
If I lived in California still, I absolutely would not have gotten to bed. I would have just been pounding vodka Red Bulls and I would be going to sleep right now.
Oh, there's no way those people in Vancouver went to bed. I mean, those
Hell no.
hardcore people out there that were waiting for this game, that's awesome that they are now even more tired than
they get
thought
to
they were
take a
gonna be.
nap.
617-779-0985. Mark Kendra, 98.5, The Sports Hub.
Boston's home for sports. 98.5, The Sports Hub.
Back here on 98.5 The Sports Hub, Mark Kendra. Great Olympics. My new favorite Olympics. I didn't really even watch much of the other stuff. Other than the men's and women's hockey. But the skiing, whatever.
I've watched everything.
You've watched it all?
I've watched absolutely everything from the time I sit at my desk with my coffee in the morning through the reruns. I've even watched reruns of figure skating and hockey.
You have another favorite story from this Olympics that jumps out at you?
Yeah, Joe and I got into this last weekend. As not so much like feel-good stories. Like, obviously, those are always fun to hear about. But Penisgate has been great. And I really like the guy who apologized to his girlfriend during his medal acceptance speech for cheating on her.
That was something.
Like, I do think it's crazy. And this has kind of been beat to death, so I don't want to spend too much time on it. But the fact that if you inject your junk with hyaluronic acid, it could add 5 kilometers to your jump because it fills out your suit is incredible. I need to know who figured this out. I actually asked some of my coworkers at my other job on our show if you could inject your junk with hyaluronic acid and get 5% better at whatever you were trying to do each time, would you do it?
What is 5%?
So I was like telling them, I was like, imagine. I'm sure we could find a way, but it's like you get 5% more airtime, or you get to hang out with
5% funnier.
You get 5 more minutes with Felger. Okay, so we were like, all right, let's say that if you do it, you get a 5% boost on your bet that you place.
No.
Each time. Would you do it? And they were all yes.
I'd have to know what it does to the junk, to the appendage. I mean,
are you done having kids? It might not even matter anymore. You might be good to go.
I still want to, utilize. Okay. Let's go back to the calls. Corey.
I made Dondero uncomfortable. Let's go.
Not uncomfortable. No, it's not uncomfortable. I just want to make sure. I don't know what it would do to the erect penis. Like, what would happen there?
Yeah, what are the long-term effects of this? I don't know.
Yeah. And 5% just doesn't feel worth it. Now, if there was another thing at stake, then I would start thinking harder. If you were telling me I could play Augusta National twice, then I'd be...
All right, let's say you improved your golf game by 5% before every round.
Then I would be deep in my thoughts.
Would you?
Yeah, I'd be deep in thought.
Junk inject.
I would look into the...
On your boys' trips.
I'd be looking into things. Yeah. I'd be doing research if that was the case. That's something I deeply care about.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, not that I don't care about my job, but I just don't know what I feel like 5% better at golf could get you places in different matches you play. I don't know what 5% better as a radio host would get me. That's all I'm saying. I don't know if it'd be noticeable. So, Accordion Corey is in Rhode Island.
My God, what a crossover of topics.
Sorry. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. That's fine.
My God. Yeah, my junk is fine. I don't want to touch it. It works well. Thank you. No good. I'm good on the 5%.
You would. What if it took a shot off of each of your golf game each time you played? Would you do it?
You might not play golf.
Well, remember, Kendra, I'm world champion accordion player. So would I play accordion 5% faster?
Yes.
That I don't know. Maybe I would for that.
That's what I'm saying.
Possible. That's possible. Yeah, I don't know. I got to think on that one. This is a question for Falcon Maz. That'd be hilarious. So this game, to have the best players in the world, pretty much all in Canada, and see them in a game that matters, and see them play like that, and we're able to beat them the American way, the balls, the grit, the heart. Incredible. But the moment Jack Hughes gets his teeth knocked out, nearly, people forget, the third period, he had that one right that nearly went over the glove, wins it in overtime. The Johnny Gaudreau stuff, I mean, that brings a tear to your eye completely. But then the saddest part of sports is when there's amazing moments that get lost because that team doesn't go on to win it all. Like, 2013 Game 7 against the Maple Leafs. Unless you win it all, they get forgotten. That Hellebuck save, but please don't let this just go to history. Now it will be on people's bedroom walls forever. What a moment for him. That save was ridiculous. What a win. USA, USA, USA!
I mean... I'm probably not going to... Are you going to find... I guess if it happened in overtime, that could have been the only thing that would have enhanced that save, that moment. But it basically... was it Jeff who said when they went to the third period, it's basically overtime now?
Yeah.
I think it was. Did you say that, Jeff, to me?
Yep.
Yeah. That save, I probably won't see a better save in my life based on the moment and what was at stake and the way he the physical accomplishment of executing and accomplishing that save. Like, I just don't think it'll be I'll see a better save than that in my entire life watching hockey when you factor all those things in. Maybe in a vacuum you might see a better save, but with what was at stake, with who the opponent was, that was incredible that he was able to keep that puck out of the net.
He is just... I don't even have words. I sat here the entire time we were live reacting to this, and I think the only reactions I had were when he did something insane, which was just consistent for about 30 minutes. I don't know how many times I can say that he's an American hero, but he genuinely never better pay for a meal, a beer, nothing in this country ever again.
It's not like we work together every day. I've never seen you the way you were at the beginning of this show when this you were so erratic, nervous, you locked in on. I mean, it was just I've never seen you like that, and just that was what made it. I mean, that's what this was all about. Like, I was feeling feelings I hadn't felt in years, not even the Super Bowl. It was just a different level of, and the sudden death aspect had something to do with it. It was a different level of anticipation that I was feeling, and the fact that it worked out the way it worked out was incredible. Dave is in the car. Hey, Dave.
Hey, that was the best collection of hockey players we've ever seen on the ice at one time. Great game. I don't care if it starts at 8 a.m. or 3 a.m. None of that matters to me. Charlie McAvoy saved the game. He saved the game, and he's not getting talked about as much, and that is not comparable to a Jaguars-Chargers game ever.
I never said that it was, first of all, but second of all, I did mention when we already brought up the Charlie McAvoy thing that the reason that I'm not sitting here praising him was because during that 3-on-5, he took a penalty, and that's how they got there, and they should have been in a lot more trouble. Yes, he did save that game.
That's fine, but they wouldn't if he didn't do what he did, they wouldn't have even got to overtime.
So
game. He's the reason we have gold medals.
So we were on the air, Kendra, when that happened. I'm watching it again. I mean, the puck is going in. He basically catches it or puts his chest in front of it, knocks it out back into the crease area. And we definitely couldn't see it in real time with the way how far away we were. But, I mean, it's in. It's over Hellebuck's shoulder.
No, and it's hard to sit here without watching the game in depth on a TV that's not the size of a napkin and be able to sit here and regurgitate everything. I'm not making, any excuses for us, but we're sitting here working, talking, watching this game on a TV the size of a laptop. I'm sorry that I'm not perfect and I didn't have everything at the time. But I am still mad at Charlie McAvoy for taking that penalty.
Yeah,
I'm
that
sorry.
guy, you can't have it both ways, because we could either be sitting here right now praising McAvoy about that save he made, or we could be crapping all over him because of that penalty he took when they were already down 1
And you
player.
can say the same thing about me sitting here praising Connor Hellebuck. It's the same thing. The glory comes both ways.
It was a bad penalty. I think he got surprised. I don't think he thought who was coming in on the rush there. I don't think he thought that the player for Canada was going to try to get around him. I think he thought he was going to try to set up the power play. And when he did, he panicked and held them. And that's what led to the 5-on-3 that they were able to overcome.
I don't want to sit here and sound like Felger, but do we all just want to sit here in a circle and, use our hands on each other about Charlie McAvoy for the next hour? I'm sure a lot of us would love to, but there was so much else that happened in that game.
That was a big save. I mean,
It's amazing. And yes, they have gold medals because of Charlie McAvoy, but you could say the same thing about the Hughes brothers and Connor Hellebuck if we really want to dish out why they won these games.
Let's get one more quick. Andrea in the car. Hey, Andrea.
Hi, guys. I just want to say that, Kendra, I absolutely adore you. And to anyone who is, I had to wake up to watch the game, that's part of it. That's the experience. Where were you when we won the gold? I set an alarm. We ran out and got bagels.
Yeah, girl.
Snuggled up with coffee.
True American right there. Anybody who goes out and gets bagels and coffee to watch this game at 8 o'clock in the morning, queen. Love you, Andrea. Go USA.
So, the other thing, too, and I'm obviously not an NHL player. I've never talked personally to an NHL player about this specifically. But my sense is, and I think I'm not too far off here, this event, they care deeply about this event. This is not, and I think it's starting to come around when you talk about the World Baseball Classic, when you talk about basketball and the Olympics. This is not like that over the years historically, especially for Canada. This is a major part of what their legacy. It's a major part of what they want their legacy to be, a gold medal. That's a huge part of a hockey player's legacy. I don't think basketball players look at the gold medal in the Olympics and feel that way necessarily.
Because they expect to win it.
Yeah, and that's certainly part of it. I mean, Mike Trout, remember that the first few years you had to twist his arm to play in the World Baseball Classic. He didn't even want to do it, and then he finally bought in. I just feel like in hockey, Marchand, I guarantee you, would give up the Stanley Cup he won last year to win this gold medal. He wanted that gold medal bad. And that was a piece of his legacy that is not there for him. And I bet you, I don't know that, obviously. I bet in a private moment he would trade the one Stanley Cup because he had already won one to win that gold medal. He revolved his year this year around being on that team and winning that tournament. And they care. Those Canadians, it's a pride thing. I don't know if it's an insecurity thing because they're not.
No Stanley Cups.
Well, yeah, I don't know if that's part of it or that's their game. They created the game, whatever, and they feel like they have to protect that. But the fact that they lost the it's just a dark day for Canada. And I wanted to point that out because I feel like it's just different. The mentality towards that international competition is different than in other sports. Joe is in Taunton. Hey, Joe.
Hey, we're doing Vermont maple syrup tonight for dinner.
Yep.
We're doing everything. Oh, my God, America, let's go.
Get some American beers, put the Molsons away.
Hot dogs with Vermont maple syrup.
Quinn Hughes, oh, my God, they balled.
It was, I mean, what makes it better, I used to remember talking about this when the Patriots were in the middle of, the dynasty years and Brady. The DVD, I know they blew out Slovakia in the semifinal, but the fact that 2 overtime wins make it even better. The drama associated with that make it even sweeter, even better, because you could have lost it in an instant and they didn't. And that's what makes it even better, the fact that they were able to win like that against that team. And one of the callers said it, the best collection of talent maybe ever assembled on the ice competing at that level. Man.
Not even a question, just because in every single sport, everyone constantly, as time goes on and resources to make your kids better, the equipment gets better, the, science between getting back from injuries, the speed, the coaching, everything gets better as the sport evolves. Pretty much every time you watch the Olympics, you're watching the best iteration of athletes that we've ever seen because of those points. So absolutely the best hockey players we have ever seen just now.
617-779-0985. Mark Dondero, Kendra Middleton. It's been a day. We have another hour, and we'll get to some stuff outside of Olympic hockey. But if you want to chime in on the gold medal, the historic gold medal that was won today by Team USA, feel free. Mark Kendra, 98.5 The Sports Hub. We're going to get a headlines after we take a break. Is that right, Jeff? We'll go to break, and after that, we'll get a headlines. We'll get you updated.
Boston's home for sports. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
All right, back here, 98.5 The Sports Up. Mark, Kendra, we've been talking basically all morning about the hockey and the win and the gold medal.
As we should.
Is there anything else you would like to touch on today, Kendra? Any Red Sox thoughts? You got a spring training game today.
I gotta be honest.
Yeah.
I don't care about this Red Sox team this year. Last year, I tried really hard to care.
Is there a reason for that?
I just don't think they care, so why should I?
It's a very disappointing level of commentary that is very accurate, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't feel like they care, so why should I? Like, if you're not going to invest anything, why should I? I'm not even, I would, living here for 8 years now, one of my favorite things in the entire world is going to the ballpark, sitting in the bleachers with the creatures, getting a glizzy and a beer, and just soaking up the sun on a nice summer day. I have not once had the thought of, you know what I can't wait for? To go watch this Red Sox team and spend $150 to do it. Like, that's not how I feel. I haven't felt that way in a while, but it's just their lack of care makes me care less.
I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. I've said on this station, it's almost to the level of being awkward. When I sit back and I listen to Tony or Milliken and they're talking about the Red Sox, and it's almost awkward. And obviously they should be doing that, but I'm just saying when they don't care as much as you do, it really feels awkward. I equated it to feel this is not necessarily a good analogy, but I equated it to if me and my buddies, for example, got together to talk about the girl I used to date and how to get her back when she's already married, she has kids, she's moved on. It's like, what are you doing? Why are you continuing to talk about that? That's not even a possibility. She doesn't think about you. She doesn't care. Why are you still wasting energy trying to relive what used to be? John Henry doesn't care like he used to. The organization doesn't care. Why are we expending so much energy? Is that even a word? I don't know. Why are we spending so much energy?
It's also like, all right, I want some star power. Like, if I'm a Dodgers fan or a Yankees fan, I'm feeling really good in one of these bigger markets. But the thing is, whose jersey is he buying? Jarren Duran? Tristan Cassis? Who's he asking for? Nobody. Who cares?
Well, I guess Roman.
Yeah, I mean, Roman Anthony, yes, but like, he's been on the team for a year.
Yeah.
Like, he is probably, without a doubt, their number one jersey seller. But do people know who he is nationally? That's my question. Here, he's a superstar. He's awesome. He's fun. We've gotten a year of it. What happens now? Do you think nationally people are like, oh yeah, Roman Anthony? Like, love him to death. He's going to be an incredible player for this team. But I don't think that that's the case. I wish it was.
I watch how the Dodgers are setting the standard. And I get it. It's ridiculous.
Do you love it or hate it?
I love it. I mean, I like the big market teams acting like big market teams. And maybe that's because I'm from here and historically the Red Sox have been able to act that way, but I don't hate it. I've never sat around thinking, gosh, I wish MLB had a salary cap. I don't care. I mean, that was different and they could go get guys and it was, hey, who's willing to put their money where their mouth is? And they've been willing to do it, even more than the Yankees. Why can't other teams with the money find ways to do that and figure out ways to compete? Because they are showing you what it takes. And if you're not able to do that, you're not going to be able to compete. I think the best thing that could happen to the Red Sox is that they go to a lockout and they implement a salary cap. Because then you can't yell and scream.
Excuses, yeah.
There's no way. They have to be money ball. They have to be smart and shrewd with their money. And people wouldn't get as upset because, hey, they can use that as an excuse. That would be the best thing for the team. I don't necessarily want that or think that's best for baseball. But I guess, I mean, if you think it's ridiculous that the Dodgers keep doing what they're doing, I don't know. I would prefer if the other teams that could do that and compete with the Dodgers. Or the teams that can't do that, try to get a little more creative. Use Moneyball. Find free agents where you can and compete that way. That's what I would like.
Yeah, but that shouldn't be a conversation that we're having in Boston. Like, if you're having that conversation in Milwaukee as a Brewers fan, yeah, you're probably cheering for that. But living in Boston or any other major market, we shouldn't be sitting here talking about how a salary cap would be better for the team. You should be spending that money because, sure, locally, people were really mad at a point last year where they weren't going to games and the only people that were there were the people who were coming out of town to go to Fenway Park and see the park. So they're going to make their money no matter what. That doesn't hurt them. But there's got to be some sort of... It's just not a conversation we should be having outside of one of these smaller markets.
No, and the worst part is you juxtapose that to what it used to be, and that's why everybody feels as strongly as they do. And that's just been my point the whole time. The 180 that John Henry should be a legend in this town. And I feel like he couldn't be further from that based on the narrative and the rhetoric around him the last few years. And he should be, again, I've said it, I don't mean to be repetitive, I'm sorry, but the Red Sox have won multiple World Series with different managers, different star players, different general managers. Henry is really the only constant. He should be an immortalized legend, and he's not. In fact, he's more the opposite. A lot of people don't like the guy, they distaste for the guy. It's a shame that it's gotten to that point, but that's what it's gotten to because of what the Dodgers have done, because of what other teams have done, and their refusal to do it. And some of his comments along the way haven't helped, and, the cut of his jib, I don't think has helped, but it shouldn't be that way, and it is, and it's a shame. John is in the car. Hey, John.
Hey, guys, thanks for taking my call so quickly. So I'm on my way back from ski country and listening in, and I think this team's going to be very good. I just feel like, Roman Anthony is going to be a star, and it's not going to take long for people to know who he is, especially if he has a great WBC. That being said, I get where you guys are coming from. Like, I'm not excited about the Red Sox. But, listen, this team still has a great pitching staff. And, I think they're going to score runs. I do. I work at Fenway, so I'm an apologist for them on some level. But I still think this team's going to be very good. And people just upset because they didn't bring Alex Bregman back, or the way it went down.
People should be upset about Bregman.
Well, there's a lot of people. Well, why? Really? Who's to say that's not going to be a bad contract in 2 years?
Because I'll tell you why, John. Even if it was a bad contract in 2 years, they tried. They would at least masquerade as if they were trying to do whatever it took to win, like they used to. That's why people like me get turned off, because it doesn't appear like they're all in to win. I can deal with them not winning, and they're going to be very good. Fine, they'll be okay, they'll be good, they'll be very good, whatever. Can they win it all? Do they have the people, the horses, or the lineup to win it all? And I don't think they do. We know what that takes. When they used to win it all, Kendra, you know this, Manny, Ortiz, the beef in the middle of that lineup back in the day, Millar and Nixon and Miller, and, later on with Mookie and JD Martinez, or Manny and Euclid, or Mike Lowell, or, they just always had so much beef. They don't have that anymore.
At least with Devers, it felt like there was a little bit of, something there as far as...
Yeah, it was a big something.
Yeah.
That was the whole point. It was supposed to be Devers and Bregman and Anthony. Now we're talking. Not, there goes Devers. Now it's just Bregman. And then, Bregman's compromised because of injury. Now it's just Anthony. And then Anthony goes out. Now it's nobody. Or it's a compromised Bregman. That's not enough. And they need... we see what it takes to win. We've seen it, and they're not doing that. So, are they going to be very good? Yeah, they're going to be very good.
I think they'll be good.
They're going to be good. But is that enough? That's the question.
I'm sick of people making excuses for them not spending money. Like, you're the Boston Red Sox.
Right.
Or sell the team.
Yeah.
I wish that I was more excited about this season, because I try pretty hard to be optimistic about teams here outside of... I definitely got against the Patriots this year. I didn't think that they were going to be a very good team. They were the number one team against the spread this season, and they got me, don't you worry. But I try to cheer for the teams here, because it's more money in the market is a good thing. More parties in the markets, more, anytime you can extend your season, it's more fun. People are happy. We're having a great time. I want that.
Look, you don't want to be negative. I get the conversation. I felt a little bit of that from the last caller. It's fun to be at Fenway and to cheer on the team. And do they have to win it every year? No. But when you
people here expect that though.
But when you factor in that it appears that they're not trying to win the way they did, I don't know how you just push that aside. You know, that really makes it awkward to me. I could deal with not winning, but I saw, especially when it's the same owner. That's I think the worst thing, because he used to do it, now he isn't. You know, it's just like anything else. If something was really good, then all of a sudden they took their foot off the gas and it's not as good anymore, people are going to feel a certain way. I mean, whether it's a TV show or a relationship or whatever, they're going to feel what's wrong here. This
is all about Liverpool. It's all about Liverpool, baby.
Oh,
get ready to learn footy.
Footy. I'm just saying it's a shame. And yes, I'm not. They could be good this year, but what is good going to get you? Because we saw what happened. I mean, this is baseball, okay? You cannot rely on some Cedar Rafaela taking you to the promised land in the playoffs. You have to almost, I use the analogy about your bills, where you can't just, if you owe, just to make it easy, $1,000 a month in bills, you can't make $1,300 a month. Yes, it would cover your bills, but there's other things that come up. You need more talent, because when you're in baseball, that number 3 hitter could slump in the playoffs. He could be in his worst slump of the season, and you need other guys to step up. If you have just a bunch of 4A players, it's not going to happen. So you can't just on paper say, well, you got Roman Anthony, he's going to go off in the playoffs. Well, you don't know that. Roman Anthony could be one of the worst hitters on your team come playoff time, even though he's your best player. So you
not enough of a sample size to just rely on it at the moment.
There's not enough. No. So I'm just saying that's why the Dodgers can pay. They'll have enough guys that are so good that keeps them where they need to be, and then maybe a guy like, I don't even remember his name, who hit the home run, Rojas or whatever, he'll step up in a big moment and make the big play. But you need the guys that are the money players, the best level talent to get you there, to keep you there. The Red Sox aren't willing to do that. 617-779-0985. Well, at least the Yankees are trying. It hasn't worked out, but at least you feel like they're still going for it. Brian Cashman, I never felt like turned into what John Henry turned into. He still goes for it. He makes bad decisions, but he goes for it, and I can live with that. I can't live with, walking the other way or taking.
Can Jimmy Stewart or Tyler Milliken tell me why I should be excited about this season other than Roman Anthony in the pitching?
Well, no, it's good that they're going to have good pitching.
It's great.
But you need bats.
I have
too.
gotten in so many arguments over the years about how they should have spent the Trevor Story contract on pitching from the start, and they would be in a much different position. So I'm very happy to see that they prioritized that this offseason. But you can't win if you can't score.
Yeah. Do you know what other team had great pitching? The early 2000s Oakland A's. Great pitching. Mulder, Zito, Hudson. It was a great staff. Did they ever even get to an LCS? They might have gotten to one LCS. Maybe. Never got to the World Series. All that great pitching. Why? Because they had bats that didn't get it done. Miguel Tejada, Eric Chavez. It's just not good enough at the plate. You need it all, especially when there's teams like the Dodgers out there and they just don't have it. 617-779-0985. Mark Kendra, 98.5, The Sports Hub.
Boston's home for sports. 98.5, The Sports Hub.
All right, back here, Mark Dondero Kendra Middleton, 98.5 The Sports Hub. And back to you. Let's go to David in Abington. Hey, David.
Hey, I've been listening to you guys talk about the need for thump. And if you look back at the Red Sox World Series that they won, especially in 13, I was just looking it up waiting. They had 118 hits in the 13 playoffs. 10 of them were home runs. That's almost 9% of the hits they had were home runs. And they were all clutch. You just mentioned if the number 3 hitter goes bad. He might go 1 for 13, but his one hit could be a 3-run homer to win a game. You have to have some thump. And unfortunately, John Henry can't sell the team because we want him to sell it. That's where we're really stuck, because he's not investing like he used to bring what he needs. It's now just what he uses to finance his empire.
Yeah, I mean, look, 2013 was probably the worst of the teams that won the World Series, but you still had David Ortiz, okay, who was, you can't compare anybody to David Ortiz, the Tom Brady, essentially, of the Red Sox and all the things he was able to accomplish in the postseason. And you still had a guy who was so productive during that run. I mean, he was the centerpiece of the middle of the lineup, and I'm talking about Mike Napoli. He was awesome in 2013. So between those two guys, you had just enough. And then when you factor in what John Lester was able to do and some of the other guys, that's what got you over the top. But I mean, you had Xander Bogaerts on that team. He didn't really, I don't think he contributed much to that team. Dustin Pedroia was still on that squad. So you guys there was some lineup.
Was Sal Talamacchia the catcher then?
Yeah, he was on that team. You had some guys in that lineup that gave you enough. Obviously, Shane Victorino hit the big grand slam in one of the games against Detroit. So were you stacked? No. But I don't know if I would feel comfortable even going, especially with the Dodgers out there, going out with that lineup. That's not good enough even today.
Oh my God, no. I don't think there's ever been a team assembled that could go against this current Dodgers roster ever. Like, not one.
Yeah.
Is there? Because no, it's truly David versus Goliath, but David is the rest of the league.
And I'm not saying that you can't win. It's baseball. Anything can happen. But you have to be on their level to have a chance to win.
Well, yeah, and it kind of reminds me of what the D-backs did a couple seasons ago. Like, nobody expected them to be as good as they were that season, and it's like basketball and baseball to me are kind of the two sports where if you get hot at the right time, you can beat anybody. But you can't expect that. Like,
no.
You can't expect to just get hot at the right time. You need to prepare in advance and hope that your, star-studded team gets hot at the right time.
Right, and that's what the Dodgers do. They can pay to avoid that. They have so much talent. Somebody at the right time is going to be hot because they have so much talent. If you're the Red Sox, you really have to hope that the right guy at the right time, and that's just asking a lot in baseball. If Cedar Rafaela was doing in October what he was doing in July or the end of June, July, it would have been a different situation potentially for the Red Sox. But you can't ask that player to be that offensive guy all season long, throughout the playoffs. That's just too much.
I have a random thing that I just saw pop up on my timeline. Guess what Nathan McKinnon said after this game today? You be the judge of who was the better team today. Mm-hmm. I love Nathan McKinnon, but that's pretty weak. That's pretty soft.
Maybe if he hit the net, he wouldn't be having that conversation right now. So he should just shut up.
This is.
How do you really feel, Jeff?
This is hockey. You've seen this happen many times in hockey. A goalie gets hot, stands on his head. I don't want to hear a comment like that. The better team. The U.S. has been right there step for step with you for years now. Okay? They were the ones that were able to put the puck in the net. I don't want to hear crap like that. I don't care what the shot totals were. That is just
if you were the better team, you win the game.
Yeah, no, you weren't the better team. The better team won the game because they were the better team today. That's who won the game. John Paul is in Vancouver. Hey, John Paul.
Hi, I agree with Nathan McKinnon. The better team did not win today, and the United States should take an asterisk to the where were the Russians? They weren't even at the game. Therefore, this is an asterisk. And of course, there was too many men on the ice. There was too many men on the ice, and
the goalie from USA played college hockey. Only bums play college hockey. Did Wayne Gretzky play college hockey? Did Mario Lemieux play college hockey? No.
Celebrini played college hockey. Makar played college hockey. What are you talking about? The only guy that scored for your team played college hockey.
You're talking about your goal. You're talking about your goalie friend. You're talking about the guy who couldn't even beat Boston University when he was at the one of the stinky UMasses, my friend.
I can tell why he's upset. I can tell why he's upset. The accent's really giving it away.
There's no Russian team even allowed to play. You take out one of the biggest. We don't even consider the Americans rivals. We consider
I consider you a loser. How about that?
Jean-Paul.
Loser! Loser!
Au revoir. I don't want to hear it. I just think
Jean-Paul.
No. He's misguided. I didn't understand the whole college hockey thing. Don't talk to me. Look, does Canada have a deeper roster? Yes. But that's not, it doesn't just come down to that in a hockey game. You didn't win. And again, I'll stand by it. I did not think Canada dominated the game, even for stretches. I thought that the U.S. allowed Canada to control the play for a long time, but they didn't dominate the game. I didn't think the United States in that game was ever totally overmatched or, really in a bad place. They needed to get the puck. Canada controlled the puck for too long, too often, but it wasn't dominance.
He has got to go get an ice pack because the fresh handprint on that ass is really hurting him.
Well said. Well said.
Thank you.
Western Canada.
I don't
know how he called us.
The French Canadians, man, they're really butthurt.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
They should be. All the chances, I don't even know how you're going to look back on that game and think about the chances you had to score the puck, and you couldn't do it.
You want to know the best part? He probably just paid us from Montreal. He just paid to call us because it was probably a foreign call.
Good. Somebody has to do that edit. All of the chances that they had to take the lead in the game. And again, I thought that Connor McDavid choked on that breakaway. He didn't even know what to do. He was trying to figure it out all the way up until he lost the puck, and then he tried to stuff it home. That's amateur hour. That's not what an elite goal scorer does. And I just thought that was poor execution. They had 2 breakaways. They couldn't score on either of them. You tip your cap to what Connor Hellebuck was able to do, and the Americans got the timely goals that won it. That's it. So,
loser!
I don't want to hear it.
Have fun crying in silver medal, buddy.
The better team, if you were the better team and you didn't win, that should make it feel even worse. Shouldn't make you feel any better. It's worse that you weren't able to win when you were the better team, if you were the better team. Just give the Americans credit. They've built up the program the right way. They got to your level, and in this game, they were better. You got to give us credit, them credit. That's what it's all about. There was no shortcut. There was no way that they didn't pay somebody to come play for them, or even it's not even like soccer, where in soccer you have guys on the American team that don't even speak English. They're from Germany, whatever that guy Jones was from Germany. This is a bunch of American kids that really came together and won the gold medal over Canada. End of discussion.
Oh man. That was awesome.
Let's go to RJ on Cape Cod. Hey, RJ.
Hey, guys. So that was massive. I think we've passed Canada now, and where we really got them too is you look at how the game played out today, and I'll call it for what it is. With Canada's top 4 guys, and Makar, Celebrini, McDavid, and McKinnon, are they the 4 best players in that game, not counting goalies? 100%. You take those 4 guys over anyone on USA. But that being said, that's all they played. McKinnon didn't come off the ice at the end of the game. So I thought that we were the deeper team. I think we have better defensemen than them. We definitely have a better goalie than them. Yeah, their top end talent might beat ours. I would love to see us play them in a 7-game series. I think we would wear them down and beat them 4-1. We have more depth.
No.
We are the better team now. Yes, we would. Yes, we would.
Can you imagine a 7-game series of that? That would be awesome. I don't know. That's not realistic, but
my hair would turn gray.
I don't know if I still think Canada has deeper talent. I don't know what the junior, the levels on the junior side have been, if who's won those championships or whatever. But you don't need to be the deeper team. You need to win the game. And America has been able to assemble a roster that is at least close enough where if you get a performance like that in goal from Hellebuck, you can beat them. And they did.
The goaltending today was just world class from Connor Hellebuck. I will never be over it, ever. That guy can cry into a baguette. See ya.
Mike is in Hyde Park. Mike.
Hey, guys. How are you? Great day to be an American.
Well said.
It's very simple. Guys, going into this, we were better defensively and at goaltending. That was going into the Olympics. And we got it together. We saw it on the forecheck, the back check. They were blocking shots. Though they did have the puck a lot, but they didn't do anything with it because of our defense. Our defensive lines were better.
Yeah, I just think it was Hellebuck. I mean, the defense was good. I think McAvoy overall during the tournament was good. And how about you want to talk about defense? How about the first goal scored by the Americans, by Boldy? Did you see what happened there? Did you see him poke the puck past the two Canadian defenders? And what did they do? Did they take the body like you're supposed to do? No. Whoever that near defenseman was to the camera turns around. Now he whiffed on it. He tried to clear the puck away, missed, and that allowed Boldy to go by him and score a beautiful goal. If he had taken the body like you're supposed to, Boldy doesn't get the puck back. But he turned around. We were talking about this. My 8-year-old son and I were talking about that on Thursday of last week. If the puck goes past you, you take the body. He didn't. This is the highest level of hockey, and he screwed up royally. Boldy goes past him, the puck ends up staying on his stick, and he scores. That is awful if you're a Team Canada defenseman.
Yeah, and Charlie McAvoy, don't get me wrong, Charlie McAvoy deserves his flowers. Like, he absolutely had a key part in them not losing that game there down the stretch. But if we're going bow for bow, like, I'm going to say Connor Hellebuck was more important with the more impressive showing today. And the people who are upset that we're not talking more about Charlie McAvoy did not watch the same game as us.
No, Hellebuck was the star of this game. Some of it was luck. The defense helped him, obviously. But I go back to that 5-on-3. I thought he was so good on that 5-on-3. He was seeing the puck well. He was under control. He wasn't fighting the puck at all.
Was great.
He was under control. He anticipated correctly, and he was on that near side so well. He was, when he needed to be up, and Makar's shot hit the post and went in. Great shot. Tip your cap. That's the only blemish on the whole day. 617-779-0985. We're going to take a quick break. Right back to you. Mark Kendra, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Boston's home for sports. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Connor Hellebuck covers the other 30%.
A great day to be online in America.
Which isn't often.
I'm glad. No, seriously. I'm glad that people are enjoying this as much as they are. Makes me feel good. And it's to the point where, people are legitimately celebrating as they should. And I don't know if people are taking a little off, they didn't expect it to be this way or enjoy it this much. I don't care. It's a big moment. If you're a hockey fan especially, this is a huge moment. You want to compare it to 1980? There are things for and against that comparison I'm not that interested in. What I do know, it's best on best in the Olympics today, and your best beat their best, and it was awesome in overtime.
Even though if that one French guy doesn't agree with us.
Both.
French-Canadian, even worse.
Do you have to dump a swear in French?
Oh, that's a good question, Jeff.
Because I think I might have just swore in French.
Producer Jeff, do we have to dump French swears?
I don't know what it means, so I don't know what to tell you.
Je parle un peu de français.
That was the conversation.
Okay.
I was going to say that was the conversation during this whole controversy going on with the NFL halftime show was should the FCC do something if he was swearing in Spanish?
Well, I would think they would need to if there's a lot of Spanish-speaking people watching, right?
I don't know.
All right, Greg is on the
North Shore. What
North
if I
Shore.
just start swearing in German? Are you going to dump me?
Hey, Greg.
Hey, guys. I just want to tell you a story. I used to work at the Boston Garden selling popcorn in the 1970s. I'm 60 years old now. Now, here's what the commentary was. Boston Bruins have pressure in the Canadian zones for 2 minutes. Canadians break out, score. And it doesn't matter. The Boston Bruins were not the better team. The Canadians were much deeper, but it all comes down to who wins the game. And you're right, Kendra, they are butthurt.
Yeah, they are. That handprint on that ass cheek is fresh, and it is raw, and it is not going anywhere for another 4 years.
I just don't think they hate losing to the Americans, especially.
Awesome.
They hate it. They feel they probably are jealous. The party... Where are they? The apartment above the good party or whatever? That's what they say?
No, it's the apartment above a crack den.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
I got that wrong. All right, well, whatever. But they hate losing to the Americans, and the fact that they had to deal with that today in overtime, they could think whatever they want. And I know for a guy like Marchand, he wanted that gold medal so bad. I don't know if he's going to be able to play again. How old is he? 36? 35? Is he? How old is he? But he wanted that. I know for a hockey player of Marchand's caliber, he wanted that gold medal badly. That is the type of player.
He's 37.
37. So he'll be 41 the next time the Olympics come around. I don't think he'd be on that team. He's not the best player now. He's not going to be on that. That was his chance to win the gold, and he lost it. And in a way, I feel bad. In a way, I love it. So I'm more on the side of I love it because of the team that won it, and that would be your United States of America. And Mark is in Jamaica playing. Hey, Mark.
Hey, kids. How you doing?
Hi, Mark. What's up?
You said it proper. So that dude from Canada or wherever, he was like straight out of Central Casting from Monty Python and the Holy Grail with the dudes fart in your general direction. Da, 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 da. It was so great for you to hear that pain. And the other thing, I got up freaking this morning, got my coffee going, and I was like, the game's on, dang. And it was third period, and that was just an amazing run. And while I was watching it, I had you guys on the radio. And I was like bummed out when you all had to go to break when overtime started.
I was going to say we should have done it so that we went to break with them when we went to break.
Went to break with.
So when they would take a commercial break, we should go to a commercial break, but I wasn't going to tell everyone how to do their job.
Yeah, I didn't know if it would work like that.
They don't take commercial breaks, though.
Probably not in the overtime.
Just the intermissions, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look, the other part of this, I didn't think that the U.S., it was simply their goaltender was outstanding. I didn't think, it's not like we had to turn it into this different type of game because you couldn't compete with them at their game. I mean, we played their game and beat them. We didn't turn it into this. I was watching the Hope Solo documentary while we were that's a ridiculous one too. I would recommend that one. But there was a part of that one where the last time they played with Hope Solo in the Olympics, I think it was Team Sweden. They turned it into a complete rock fight to take the U.S. out of there, and that's how they had to beat them. We didn't have to do that. It's not like we turned it into this physical, brawling type of dub it down and make it really just about physical. They played, the U.S. did, basically the way the Canadians played, just won the game.
You know what we didn't talk about that I think deserves at least a minute of airtime?
Yeah.
Marchand starting a fight. Did you see that?
When was that?
Yeah, he started throwing some punches. Jeff, did you see that?
I believe it was like at the end of one of the periods.
I was going to say, was it the end of the second or the end of the third? But I want to say it was the end of the third, but he started to take some shots at people. He was clearly, like, upset.
He was barking at the bench, too.
Yeah. Yeah, he took a shot at somebody, and they had to break him up.
Personally, I think he's going to be devastated by this. I think this is the thing that
did you see his face when he got his medal?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he was hurt.
Tina was not helping with that at all.
No, Tina, I love Tina. I just feel like legitimately this was supposed to be the cherry on top of his career.
Yeah.
And he to lose out.
Yeah,
with
this
that
was going
type
to
of
send
roster.
him into the sunset.
Right.
This
That
was his kiss
one
on the
missing
forehead.
thing. I mean, it's the Stanley Cup, it's the gold medal, and then the World Championships. I don't know if he won that or not. That was the one thing. And he talked about this. I remember back in the summer, him talking about being ready for the Olympics, being on the team. He was a big part of the Four Nations. It's good. I think this will devastate him, as it will everyone in Canada. 617-779-0985. Mark Kendra, 98.5 The Sports Hub. All right, back here, 98.5 The Sports, Mark and Kendra. Just one quick note. I believe, if I'm reading this correctly, not that you care, if Canada was able to win that gold medal, Brad Marchand would have become a member of the exclusive Triple Gold Club, which in hockey is gold in the World Championship, which he, I think, won in 2016, gold in the Olympics, and the Stanley Cup. The only thing missing was the Olympic gold medal, which, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, if you want to talk about it, 4 Canadians ever to be in that club.
Bergeron's one.
He would have. Marchand's in it. Brendan Shanahan, Joe Sakic, Scott Niedermayer. That's it. 4 of all the Canadian hockey players, 4 are in that club. He would have been. I'm sorry, there's others. I'm at the wrong spot, but still, it's an exclusive club. The Stalls, or Eric Stahl, Sidney Crosby, Taves, and Corey Perry. So it's
I was going to say,
guys.
I feel like Sidney Crosby had to be on that list.
10 guys, really. In all the people, all the players. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Of all the Canadians that ever played hockey, 10 of them are in this club. He would have been the 11th, and maybe other guys would have joined him on the team. But that hurts if you're, a guy like that. That
makes sense why he wanted it so bad now,
Yeah.
though. Like that, I mean, that absolutely checks out.
So-
And it's hard because, like, being so attached to the Bruins for so long, you obviously want to see him do well. Like, watching him play as a Florida Panther now is, like, the ickiest thing ever to ever exist ever. I hate it so much. If it wasn't USA, I would have been cheering for him, but see ya.
Right. Not when it's USA.
Yeah, no.
So that's just another aspect to this. Real quick on the Celtics. I'm sorry. I don't know if I missed it. I don't understand the conversation about Tatum and Brown. I don't understand. Can they coexist? The Celtics without both of them have no they're playing well this year. Brown's been really good. They have no chance to win the championship if it's just Jaylen Brown. None. So I don't know why we're talking about can they coexist? Should they? Is this the end? If they don't coexist, the Boston Celtics have 0% chance to win the championship. So I don't know. If you don't want to win the championship, maybe you shouldn't coexist. But I don't understand why that conversation is pertinent unless there's a definitive reason that Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum has given us to have that conversation.
I know what it is.
What is it?
I think that it's because Jalen's having an MVP season and he's put them in this position. With Tatum coming back, does it go back to being Tatum's team? Is he their leader? Or does Tatum have to kind of fall in line behind Jalen for keeping them in this conversation this entire year, even though the organization has made it very clear that they would choose Tatum if there was ever a potential breakup? I think that that's the conversation here.
All right.
Who is your leader for the rest of this season?
Do the Boston Celtics have a head coach? Do they have coaches? Do they have a front office? The answer is yes. Why aren't you addressing that concern? That's a good problem to have. Why would you not address that? Because, again, you have no chance with just one of them on your roster. None. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, both of them aren't MVPs. They could play at an MVP level, but they've never won the award. You need both. So you need to be working on how to make it work with both if you want a chance to win. If you think it'll just be easier to manage the roster by getting rid of one of them, well, fine, but you're not going to win. You'll lose in the playoffs. So you need to find a way to manage the roster with both of them. And if that means having constant communications or dipping into some other resource outside the organization to figure it out, you got to do that because you need them both. There is no, if we, we'll let Jalen cook and get rid of Tatum. No, you're not going to be good enough if you do that. He might have these MVP level stats, but you're not going to win bupkis. So no.
My final thought here today is everyone stay safe. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Go Team USA. And thank you to our essential workers in this storm.
Well said, Kendra. It's good to see you.
You too.
Enjoy the storm. Whatever. This sucks. It's a storm, but have fun if you can.
I'm going to go watch this game back.
You're going to what?
I'm going to go watch this game back.
I'm going to watch it back. I'm going to watch because there were things I missed, and I'm going to watch it back. Well said. Very good idea. Good luck, Jeff. As always, pleasure. And thank you, to reiterate what Kendra said, to all the essential workers and everybody that's going to be out there. My brother-in-law, even though he bashed Will Campbell all the time this fall, he's going to be plowing for us tonight. My father-in-law, Owen, Big O, and Christopher. Thank you to all the workers out there. And go USA. gold medal. Mark Kendra, 98.5 The Sports. Matt McCarthy next. See ya.